Na, 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 na,
Ang category di Luca.
na.
It's okay that we streamed that because he is that. So it's not
It's canon.
Yeah, it's not
True.
faux pas.
Yep, you're streaming. It's canon. Good call,
Yeah.
Parvis.
If you stream it, it's canon.
Is there any race or culture in this setting that would be Italian? Come on, there's gotta be one.
The Torn.
I mean, June could be.
Feral or floral?
Well, we already know
Feral.
the floral are Irish.
Mm-hmm.
So what? What are Irish?
The floral tone.
Yeah,
Is it
floral
like
torn,
Norwegian?
Yeah,
The floral
are
torn
Irish.
is an Irish dude who's been living in America for 30 years. That's
He can drop back into it when he wants to.
yeah.
The feral torn really could be anything. I mean, I have some in mind that you guys have just never come across, who have very different accents than what you've encountered so far in the campaign. So
I wonder if pursuing Tersink's walking stick will bring us closer to any other Torn.
To answer the question, once we run into a Torn that has basically a club made out of just increasing sized meatballs, I don't think we're gonna know.
Why meatballs instead of spaghetti?
How do you attack someone with spaghetti?
That's the shield, is
How do you
spaghetti.
That's the shield. Got it.
just a giant meatball with a like thick noodle on the back of it holding it in place. Heck yeah.
I'm suing.
This
wish
is
that was your character.
I appreciate this canon.
I want to be shot out of one.
Delicious food canon.
So the last session was titled "The
Yeah,
Way
what
of
happened
the
last
World."
time?
Council feels the heat from the blast, and then he hears the explosion. He's hit by a shockwave. He and his gear are blown away. He tumbles head over feet. He wakes up. Oh, he didn't go out, but his head aches, and his staples hurt because he was grinding along the ground face first, apparently.
Ugh.
He collects himself, makes sure he isn't, dying or open where he shouldn't be. He feels relatively intact, which is surprising. And he has he remembers the recent memories of like being dead, and then the fight, and the running, and the explosion. He remembers the Dawn are attacking, and the army of Nan are also kind of flowing in. And he was flung out of these down the south roadway. Council looks for enemies. He returns to the temple. Strangely, the temple is untouched. However, the area around the temple is completely blown away. So there's a big crater while the building kind of floats there indestructibly, which is fascinating. He collects his gear and goes back to the temple and finds his way through the smoke and the ash. Navigates around the pit very carefully to make sure that there wasn't anyone else there. Most of the content within the temple has been completely ashed. Otherwise, there's debris and stone and sand everywhere. He heads to the right room where he remembers the Magister and Danny were taking shelter. He calls for the Magister, and the Magister shows up. He says he and Danny are okay. Council asks the Magister to go check on old Tim and Kaz, and they do. Council tells them to go meet with the other citizens and prepare for any conflict. The Magister says that's probably a good idea, and it gives Council some light. And they head off. Council goes to the center, and he kind of starts to search in spirals outward, like a very sad stapled cinnamon bun. And then he hears the group leave the front. I don't know. I thought it was something with spirally. I don't know. While searching, he finds some debris, and then he tries to move it, and it turns out it's Felix's armor and his little tuna can. He's in really bad shape. He's charred. He's damaged. Council stares a bit as he's trying to not go on a murderous rampage. And then he starts trying to remove Felix's helmet. He finds a way to open the visor. It's cracked. There's no sign of blood on Felix's face, which is good. However, he does seem burnt in parts of his skin. Council drags him to the table and props him up against it. He finds the compass. He hears movement near the edge of the crater, and language kind of like Nan from what he remembers from the previous encounters. So Council decides to stash Felix under the table and hides him with some rocks and stuff. And then he takes the compass and heads north, and he makes some noise while trying to do so. The nuns stop and listen. Council waits for them to move on. There's more voices by the entrance, behind, chatter all over. They're slowly kind of surrounding the area. Council decides that he can't really go out that way, and so he goes back and starts to search for his companions. He puts the compass back on Felix, and then he finds a piece of debris. It looks like a long wooden log, and it turns out to be Wander. He wakes. The glow of Wander is now orange instead of green. It gets slightly brighter, and then kind of like it's pulsing. Council pours some water on his face to rouse him. Wander notices that all of his foliage is gone. He's bald. Sadness. Council whispers and twitches a bit. He seems to be dealing with something, and while he continues his search, we don't find any more bodies yet, but we do hear more sounds around the edge of the crater. It sounds like some mundane fighting, like Dawn versus Non, probably. Wanda manages to find Ishmael. His body has some physical changes. There are patches of skin that are different colors. It looks like vitiligo, some darkened, some cracks of light. Others are ghostly white. There's a vapor and smoke rising from his body, which is very interesting. Council asks if Wanda was approached by Noon. Wanda says yes, it was that or death. Council makes a face under his mask. Council pours water on Ishmael to try and rouse him. The fighting gets closer. Council keeps searching. Wanda shoves food in Ishmael's mouth, gives him a good berry. Council looks for Tizol, doesn't find him. Council returns to Wanda and Ishmael, who are chatting. The council pulls Felix out from under the table and tells Wanda to give him a good berry. Ishmael helps look around a bit as well. Felix wakes up. They start chatting. Felix also says he accepted the bargain. Suddenly, there's a light in the temple coming from the western door. Felix can see a tight phalanx of Dwarn that have kind of bubbled through the door and are holding the non back. We decide to head north.
Did Council make a face under his mask when he found out about the others? I know you made that comment when you said it for Ishmael, but I don't know that you said it for...
Oh, it's for everyone.
Okay.
He's like, yes, I've made a bargain with the big bad. Like, oh, great, that'll be fine in the future.
We don't know that Noon's the big bad. He might just be misunderstood. And
Crow of judgment. Crow of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Crow of judgment. Call. Anyway, the Dawn in the temple spread out in search of the temple for an exposed entrance. Yeah, so that was something that I forgot from the notes, but I have it in quotes. So Spencer must have said it. Council recommends using the compass to find Tizol. The compass doesn't react to where is Tizol. It kind of spins around. We discuss our plans. The group decides that finding the ship right now is the highest priority. So we rest, and then we'll leave the city. We find John's shop. It's empty. Felix asks the compass some questions. What is the easiest way to enter the heart of the world? The compass spins for a moment and then points southeast, kind of toward the center of Orin, which is covered by a city-sized kraken. So that's not a very good idea. Then we take watches while we rest. Wander is on his first watch. He looks at his scrimshaw. The lines rearrange themselves into a very caveman-esque picture of a figure with long hair, and they seem to be acting as like swinging some sort of tool. Probably Joan working the smithy. Not long after he puts his scrimshaw away, he hears the sounds coming down the street from the darkness and near the base of the building. Sound of movement through water. More sounds of steps on dry ground behind us and more west. Wander starts to notice that within the dome, he's seen some clouds forming above, which is interesting. He's suddenly made deaf as there is a large peal of thunder and lightning that strikes 6 figures surrounding the building. There are 6 non that have been dropped dead by lightning. Looking off to the distance, about 20 feet, there's another figure, a non wearing some kind of shining armor, staring directly at us. Everyone wakes up, arms themselves, and goes outside. Wanda says lightning struck the non. Only armored non remains. My name is Barjuan, sent by Lady Negrel. He's for some reason, very Spanish. We speak with him. Council is completely distrusting. The group resumes rest. Barjuan joins us for the rest. Council does second watch. He dismisses Bakwan. He checks his journal. It looks well enough, although a bit water damaged. It doesn't close as well as it used to be, as it used to. There's a folded piece of paper that falls on the back since one of the pages was glued. It's quad folded. He reads it. It's a note from his grandfather. I have the note.
I say I don't think you revealed anything about the note.
Nope. Council read the note and had an emotional moment because he's not mentally stable right now. And then Ishmael wakes up and Council goes to bed. Ishmael does his watch. The sun comes up. It's not raining anymore. Skip. Council suggests that Felix use the bones from the dead Nan to repair his armor. Council gives Felix back the gun because he doesn't know how to use it. Council asks Bakwan if he came, how he joined, or how he came into the city. Bakwan says he came in with the Nan. Felix recognizes the armor and armaments of Bakwan are Dwarn. They're not from Touchstone. They were Bakwan says they were given to him before leaving. That the Nan collect all sorts of shiny things, and so they have a collection of gear from various places. He has not left the Crystal City in many years. Council asks Felix about the status of his armor and if they can fix it. Felix mentions that the armor seems to have burst at the seams, so some leather might be able to repair it. We find some leather strips in the forge. There's metallic filings near the mini forge as well that Felix took. We find a ring of keys. Felix takes the keys. The council leaves a note for Joan just in case. Council asks Bakwan for a summary of his abilities. It turns out to be a rather supporty, clericy type, which is great, with some Zavi side. Council writes numbers 1 to 10 on paper and asks Felix to use the compass. Point to the which piece of paper has the lowest number of keys required to get to the door. It points to 6, which is great. How many keys do we have? Which is mind-blowing, and we have 5. It's crazy. Amulet, pistol, mirror, compass, and hammer. We collect the sheets of the paper in case we need to use them for future questions. Ishmael takes a quick check from the roof. There's none to the south, and some of them are scattered to the west. Most of them seem to be moving around, kind of just idly in the city. Council hypothesizes that one of the sides might have one if they're not moving in any hurry. Wanda uses pass without trace, and then we head to the west entrance, and then we'll plan to head south. That's it. Hoof.
Cool. Oh my goodness, what's going on here?
This is session 49.
49. And it is
45.
45. Session 49 is titled Momentum.
Momentum.
Momentum?
I feel it. I feel the momentum. We're making progress.
Thank goodness it wasn't Memento. I couldn't handle that tonight.
Yeah, we're not.
That's what I heard.
We meet someone named Maury. Like, no.
Momentum. After traveling through the city, sneaking with Barkwan, chatting with a couple of his fellow Nan along the way, giving you guys time to sneak between buildings with your excellent pass without a trace, you eventually reached the outer wall of the city. If you look at the map that I have pulled up,
Ooh, updated.
can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you started at Jones' shop. You were in the water still, made your way out straight westward. And you have now reached that inner wall.
Hmm.
At this point, you have, if the plan is to leave the city, you would need to move south along the edge of the wall. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Yes.
Great. So as you begin to travel south, you notice along the wall itself, there really aren't any Nan that you can see. Any that you do see are like down the streets that you're passing by or down the alleyways in between the buildings, and they are back to the east, further into the city itself.
Okay.
About halfway through this block, so halfway to the exit, you notice that the green barrier disappears.
Oh, dang.
And for the first time in over a month, you can see blue sky while you are standing within the city of Warren. Keep moving.
So, quick question though: is this like a finger snap and it's gone?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In all but an instant, it is just gone.
Council
I-
stops to look around, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, Ishmael comments on it.
They must
Well-
have removed one of the crystals from underwater.
If the townspeople need to flee, it might help them in that endeavor. Leaves the city exposed, but it's not really theirs yet right now.
Unfortunately.
That's the breaker's problem.
Mhm. There were only a hearty few left. I know many departed already.
This does give free access to the Kraken to the city. Something to bear in mind for our return.
Oh dear.
But that does not change our plans.
The important buildings, not to say that the other ones aren't important themselves, seem to be indestructible, so I'm not too concerned about the Kraken doing anything.
Agreed.
Yes, the temple seemed untouched from that explosion, so it's unlikely a kraken can do much more damage.
The more problems for the breakers, the better at this point.
Agreed.
They did seem rather keen to find an entrance in the temple.
They're who we're working against, I think, at this point.
Indeed.
Well, I have to admit that
Go ahead.
the next group we'll be working against is whatever group is standing by the gate. I can't imagine the gate is unwatched, so our exit from the city here is about to get very interesting.
Well, can we get over the wall? Now that the barrier's gone.
Between the 5 of us, wait, 6 of us. We should be able to get over the wall. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
That's not a player?
I'm not there.
Spencer's with us.
No,
There's always with you.
is there anyone not with us at the moment?
Wanda, Bakwan, Felix, Ishmael, Council.
Counting yourself?
Yeah? I said the 6 of us.
5.
There's 5 of us.
There's only 5 of you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's
Nah,
just
there we go.
keep
There's-
moving on.
There.
Oh.
All right.
There's the it's the invisible dwarf that's been following us this whole time.
Ishmael
he's-
turns and stabs.
He's onto him.
Counting to 6 is a big step, guys.
It's true.
Have you thought
It's-
about this? If we added 6 more members to the party, could we finish the campaign by October?
I mean, maybe.
Does that mean if we added 100 people, we could finish it tonight?
I think
Let's
so.
go.
That's how C-suite think.
Okay.
We at least might be able to expel the dwarf.
Well, the more we can kill, the better. Council keeps
You
walking.
Marquand's still in the street. He didn't meet up with the group because he doesn't want to seem conspicuous, so he's like
Well,
kind of
we're
nosy.
following
Oh
like 10
right,
feet behind you.
we're like following him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are talking, but Barquan's still like walking, and he's kind of
Yeah.
like slowing up a little bit because he hears. I would assume he probably hears. I
if
think
they're
he's-
talking at normal volume, yeah, you would probably hear them.
Okay. So he would probably like slow up and kind of look back and like gesture like, "Where to? To the gate."
Gotta
council.
find a way over the wall, I think.
Well, let's see if the entrance is obstructed before we make those decisions.
Shall we send someone to gather intelligence? I even with
And the
this
bird.
fast,
Oh wait.
She's all.
Too soon.
Um, council points at Barkwan, and then points to his eyes, and then points at the gate that's in front of us.
Oh, are we close to the gate?
Well, it's half a mile ahead.
halfway.
Yeah, you were halfway there, so
Yeah.
you'll be there eventually.
So he's taking that as you guys are going to wait, and he's going to move ahead, so he'll keep going.
Okay. Barkwan.
I don't think we should wait. I think we should keep going.
Did you say that?
Let's follow.
Let's go
Yeah,
say that.
follow. We've been doing it the whole time,
Yeah.
so
Sweet.
Follow at a distance.
Agreed.
He'll keep going, regardless if you guys follow or not.
So traveling Barkwan up in front with everyone else a couple steps behind, a ways behind.
Yep.
Barkwan, you eventually reach to the Magister's Academy, which is right outside of that main gate there. And you notice at the gate there are 2 non-posted. And at the academy in the courtyard, you could see a number of other non.
Okay. Does it look like? I mean, he doesn't know the city. He's never been here. I'm assuming he was briefed to some degree. Can he tell, like, just based on his understanding of how, like, the non would operate, can he tell anything about what he's seeing either in the courtyard or by the gate, like confirmation of some type that they took over? It seems pretty clear, but
Yeah. I mean, from what you can see, you haven't seen any Dwarn at all, and you can only see these non here.
Okay.
The 2 that are posted next to the gate that you can clearly see are pretty standard, like militarized non. The ones that are in the courtyard were a little too far away, and because of like the angling of the buildings, you're not able to like see past it before you got on the other side of it to see the court or to see out the gate.
okay. He would approach the guards and ask if they've seen anything on their watch.
As you approach the 2 guards that are at the door, the one turns and just says, "The Dwarn have left some time ago. The city is ours. Have you seen anything, brother?"
I've seen nothing. Nothing of concern. We made them flee, correct?
Yeah. They have
How-
fled like cowards.
How many fell?
It is unknowable. They gathered their own. Tell me, you came from the north? Yes?
The north is what he asked?
Yeah. He's kind of like eyeing you while he's asking.
Does he know what the north means? Because he asking geographically if he came from
Yeah.
the north?
Yeah, he's asking, like, did you come from the direction of the...
Oh. Yeah, yes, it is my rounds of watch. I went past the temple and then to the south, to the west, and now down south to the gate.
We have received news of some of our own who are dead. Seemingly electrocuted. Have you seen anything else?
No,
Give me a deception check.
Sure.
Ooh.
I mean, you said, have you seen anything else? So he's not lying. You didn't say, did you see them get hit by
Or make
lightning?
me persuasion. You can make me persuasion if that's what you feel is the appropriate role.
I feel like it should be no roll, but I'll play your game, DM.
I'm surprised he waited this long to make you roll.
Deception through omission, my favorite.
Regardless, +1 for either. I got a 17, so 18.
Natural 20, we're boned.
He got a 24.
Oh,
Roll
no.
initiative. No. He just kind of continues staring at you for a little bit before turning back to the other non that's guarding the gate. And he says, Babaji, I told you that there was nothing else. Certainly these were just losses to Dawn. He turns back to face you. He says, your rounds are quiet then?
I'm sorry, say again?
Your rounds are quiet
Oh,
then?
yes, quiet. I'm going to continue. I just wanted to stop and make sure everything was okay.
All is clear here.
He nods.
There is, and he points with, he's got a trident that he points towards the Magister's tower, and he says, there is some kerfuffle here. We are not sure what is going on there.
In the tower.
Yes.
Okay. I can go investigate if you'd like.
Go speak with the other nun. They may have more information.
Okay. I will go back north. Right? Right?
North is away from where the other nun are.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. The gate and the Magister's Tower are near each other, right?
Yeah. So the gate is directly west of the
Yes,
Magister's Tower.
that's right.
The Magister's Tower is like the first building inside the gate.
And I guess that'd be strange. I'll go investigate. I'll go the complete wrong way.
Complete opposite direction. Yeah, I'll go check on that.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Does Pass Without Trace have a duration? Or is it concentration?
It does.
Let me check.
We did
1 hour
1
concentration.
hour.
You've still got time.
He would nod and then go to the courtyard.
So you slither your way over to the other non, and entering into the courtyard in front of this large building, you can see there are two of the kind of bulkier non that you became familiar with in your time amongst these non. They're the most like mutated from the exposure here. And then there are two others, one that's more like proficient in like poisons and ranged combat.
Sure.
And one that's more of a mystic. But when you approach, they one of the larger just immediately seeing you kind of stares at you as you come into the courtyard. And as you approach, just says, "Oh, go your rounds."
Good. All is clear. No threat is imminent.
This is what we have heard as well. There is one up in tower. We have no way of drawing them out. They seem secure.
Do you know who it is? Dorn or other?
Dwarf.
Hmm.
Dorn. Would he have been briefed at any point about the Magister's Tower from Lady Negrel or anyone in the Crystal Cathedral? Like, does he know what this tower is?
Probably not, honestly. Yeah, they probably
Context.
wouldn't have told him that.
Context clues. He's not stupid. Like, oh, big tower, probably important.
No.
Or Dwarn locking himself in the highest tower seems problematic to securing the city.
No, he's just coward.
A coward that could be holding on to important resources.
When you say important resources, the like frills on the back of his head kind of like quiver a little bit. Says, there is none within the confines of these people. None as important as what we have. Nothing worth dying for.
I hope you're right. I will take my leave and continue my rounds.
He just kind of nods, and the others nod silently along as well.
And he would head south, basically to get to the closest path to make it look like he's completing his round, essentially. So, temple, west, south, and back east to make it seem like he's actually doing a round to not arouse suspicion.
Okay.
And then, basically, at the first sign of clearing, he would want to like duck into the shadows. Not like stealthily necessarily, but even, I don't know, performative, pretend like he's going to look at something to try to talk to the group and tell them
Sure.
what he sees.
Sure. What's the rest of the party doing while this is going on? You see
waiting for Barquan to get back.
yeah, he travel up, he speaks to the non, you assume, and then he disappears behind a corner.
We'll wait 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, giving it a few minutes to see what happens, assuming he's about to return him.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you wait for a few minutes before you actually see Barquan. Barquan, roll me a stealth check. Or if you want to do a performance check, because that's what you said, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, it's more like making it seem like I'm investigating something, not like I'm hiding.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so performance. I'll buy that. But will they? Bum, bum, bum.
I don't think they will with a natural one.
Oh, nuts.
Barquan looks down at his feet. Oh no, I untied my shoes. As he slithers into the alley. You travel back to the group?
Yeah.
Okay. Those who are waiting, Barquan eventually comes out of one of the alleys nearby to your east and slithers his way over to you.
Okay. Council doesn't fully trust Barquan yet. Can you check to see if is he like got allies to come and kill us? Do I hear any like footsteps?
Perception check.
Tailed.
I did actually.
It's gonna be real bad if they show up. Because like, oh, you Dan. 14 plus 6, 20. 20.
20. Listening, besides the sound of Barquan kind of like slithering across the dry and dusty ground, you don't hear any additional sounds. There's no additional non that are following him.
Okay.
Did you walk right up to us, Barquan?
He's in the alley, like right next to
Yeah,
us.
in the alley next to you guys, like not necessarily like approaching you directly, but like going to like a corner and just like peeking around and like talking.
I'm trying to picture like how far away do you think he is? Just a couple feet?
I don't imagine we're standing out in the middle of the street, right?
No.
Like we would have taken cover while he was doing the talking and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you guys
envisioning
probably,
we're like
ducked into a house or something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said, Spencer. More like what?
So you guys, if you're waiting, you don't want to wait out into the open. There's lots of these abandoned houses around. You probably ducked into a house and Barquan could then like easily like slither up to the doorway even of the house without really getting much suspicion.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he comes to within earshot, I want to say something to him.
Okay.
I mean, I did.
Yeah, he's coming. To
Okay,
talk
well
to us.
that's what I was trying to determine.
Yeah.
Exactly how close you were. Okay.
Yeah, I was
So-
coming close to talk to the party, tell them what I saw, and then be on my way.
You left.
Yeah, yes, yeah. What do you mean I left? Yes, I left, and I came to talk to you.
You. Where did you go?
Time out. When I went east, did the party follow me, or did they wait there for me to make an entire other round?
They waited.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
once you got like within the
Got
non or whatever, we weren't
Yeah,
gonna
we're
like
not-
we weren't gonna try to risk anything.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not
I didn't
visible.
realize that. I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes sense. Then he would have known that you guys weren't following. I'm assuming, or maybe he wouldn't.
Yeah, of course. We're not invisible. Like we've just been kind of hugging the sides of the building, being stealthy.
Got it. Okay. Would Barquan have noticed? I didn't roll or anything to like look. I guess
I mean, if
Tell
you
me.
didn't look, you
I
didn't
did look.
Yeah, then no, you probably didn't notice.
I just okay. All right. Yes. No, I continued my route. I went east to the temple, then back around. I presumed you would follow, but I was misunderstood.
You alerted no one of our presence.
No.
Ishmael just kind of glances at the rest of the party at him saying that.
Based on what you saw at the gates, what are our chances of sneaking through?
So it's obviously guarded. There are 2 guards at the gate, and there are more in the courtyard of the academy. I'm sorry, not the academy, the tower. I don't know it's an academy. I spoke to 2 of the non in the courtyard, and they told me that there is a dwarf who has barricaded himself at the top.
A dawn.
Do you know of this building and what it is?
This is the Magister's Tower. He was one of the ruling figures of the city. Although he
Did
was
we-
not Dwarn. Which is
Well,
surprising.
if he's holed up there with Kaz,
Well,
or if Kaz is holed up there.
why would Kaz be up there?
We don't know what the city folk group have been doing.
Such
Maybe
as-
they thought returning to the tower to get something would help them.
The Magister did have a collection of things.
It might be worth investigating, but I don't know how to do that without alerting the non.
The only way we have been able to access the tower without the entrance is when Tizzle was with us and he could fly. So either Wanda would have to shapeshift into something, or we would figure out something else.
I think Wander could do it.
I could fly up there.
Did you ask about the Dwarn or the situation of the city?
The dwarf have fled.
Fled.
Do they know that the temple is clear?
I do.
For all we know, they could be holed up in there still, because that's what we think they're here for.
They may have
And
found
there-
a way in.
There are some Dwarn we cannot see.
True.
If
Dwarf you cannot see.
They can
They
turn
are-
invisible.
Yes.
Some, at least.
We don't know how many of them are able to do this or not, so they may have seen some leave, but we have no idea of knowing how many are still here.
Yes. They said fled, so I'm sure they saw some leave. But if you're saying these dwarves can become invisible, we have no guarantee they are not still here.
well, We have ways of detecting invisibility.
You do?
I do. I can also turn invisible. It's pretty rudimentary technology. No
Nice.
surprise they figured it out.
I also have a way of seeing the invisible.
Felix, do you think the breakers were corrupted by noon?
Absolutely.
Perhaps too much dabbling with red alchemite.
I never expected they would leave the mountains. All their ambitions seem to be within the kingdom of the dawn, under the mountains. They took Touchstone. What more could they want?
Well, until they found more knowledge of something worth pursuing.
I can't help but wonder if they are after the heart of the world as well.
I can't help but wonder, says Wonder. Sorry.
Now, if you end up talking to them again, Barquan, you should plant the idea to go check out, one, the tunnel they came out of, and two, the temple. See if there's any lingering Dwarn.
Do we want them to completely secure the city?
I would rather fight Nan than Dorn.
I think the breakers are pretty.
He's very insulted by that.
Well, we're not sure. The non want to. I think they want to protect the city with the Kraken. The Dwarn want to break in and get to the access to the center of the world, and probably do not very good things.
You talk about the center of the world.
All right, you're not really briefed on that, are you?
Long story short, there is an entrance to the heart of the world in this city. Multiple, actually. The closest one is in the temple. The Dwarn seem to want access to it.
Enough to make a giant crater underneath the temple. And they brought an excavator with them, so that could be a problem too. A giant machine made to dig tunnels.
Unfortunately, Blippy and Luca both hear the Blippy. Luca and Barquan hear
Blippy?
the Blippy. The Blippy.
No. That character's dead. You die. Bring
Blippy,
Tiz
Blippy sings a song about excavators that's stuck in my head now. Barquan too. The heart of the world. Okay.
We will have more context later.
We need to get you out of here. Yes? We agree still?
Yes.
Yes.
We have taken a round of the city. Where do you think we will be able to get out easiest?
With the barrier gone, it changes some of our logistics.
I see a few options. With the Baragon, yes, we could leave via the ocean now, which could be problematic because the Kraken and the Non. We could go out the door of the gate, also problematic. We could figure out a way to go over the wall, which is probably the safest way, but we don't know how to get over the wall. And there is a newly formed tunnel in the middle of the city that we could take out if it's abandoned by the Dwarn and the Non aren't checking it out themselves.
That tunnel probably leads west. For however long. I'm not
I was
sure
just
that-
about to say we don't know how far west. I would assume they wouldn't have tunneled that far, but perhaps they could have started from Touchstone. We don't know necessarily.
Does Felix know how fast these excavators excavate, like make the tunnel? Could he figure it out?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Make me an intelligence check. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dwarn were encamped for several days.
Let's see. 17.
17.
Yep.
In your time in Touchstone, and being more familiar with the capabilities of the Dwarven and the technology that they have, you probably have a pretty good understanding of just how fast the mining machines can move. Which they're not like incredibly fast, but they're at least normal walking pace, even while burrowing.
Oh wow, like 3 or 4 miles an hour.
If they're burrowing, probably a little bit longer.
Okay.
A little bit slower, maybe like quarter speed.
Okay.
But on ground, if they are like just traveling through like an open tunnel, or if they're on flat surfaces, whatever, they can go walking speed. If they're burrowing, yeah, maybe a little bit slower, probably a quarter of that, maybe a mile.
Mm.
I have a feeling when they were talking about the Dwarven having a camp off in the distance, I think they brought one of the tunneling machines out there and started there.
We haven't seen outside of the city since we fought. That encampment may still be there.
That sounds like we need some information. Perhaps I could turn into a bird. I would probably do some scouting out west to see what is on the other side of the wall, see where that excavation tunnel starts, circle around, check out the tower, and report back. You all would be here waiting for me for I don't know how long it would take.
Well, we want to know who's in that tower first, because they might need help immediately. We know some useful people.
I wish Tizal were still here. Wander looks down.
Knew some useful people.
I do not like making decisions without information, so scouting seems like the best option.
All right. I know this makes you uncomfortable, Council. We haven't had a chance to talk about this much, and I want everyone to know that it was against my will, and I'm fighting against it. But I don't know how this bargain will affect me once I transform. If I'm a normal eagle, I can certainly get by. If I'm an eagle that is brightly glowing orange, I certainly wouldn't want to venture out. So after I transform, if you could all please tell me if I'm not looking like a normal creature and let me know before I leave, that would be appreciated.
Did you say your bargain was against your will?
It wasn't what I wanted, and I didn't want to die.
So it was not ideal. Understood.
And they say against...
I have more questions for later.
Oh, not as many as me, my friend. Not as many as me.
Fair.
I will break this pact given the chance.
I look forward to that, my talented friend.
Council twitches a bit.
Not the first employer I've double-crossed.
And it seems a similar bargain seemed to have served Revan just fine for the latter part of his life.
That bargain... Revan is dead, and the city is full of breakers that have been corrupted by the one you have made a bargain with.
And I've personally experienced no downside to the bargain.
Did you guys hear that creaky step over there?
Ishmael goes to investigate.
I swear, guys.
We're gonna spend a whole session on this.
Well, bargains be damned. We need to make haste. You should scout.
Wander transforms into an eagle.
Those who have seen Wander transform before, you know that it's almost a like origami-esque, like he just kind of like folds in on himself until he is the shape that he is. Like it's unnatural him being made out of wood, but somehow it works. This time when he does that, there's a bit more flair to it. And when he collapses in on himself, there's kind of like a puff of like if you were to throw something into a bonfire pit, like just a couple of like embers that come out, and then he like breaks out these large like wooden wings. You can see there's just like a little bit of soot and ash that falls to the ground around him, and that orange inside glows brightly, and then it kind of dims back down to the normal color that he is all the time. But now that he is standing there, he looks as he always does.
Okay. So from a distance, it would be a brown bird. Okay.
Yeah. For the initial transformation has much more flair to it, but the actual thing that he has become looks the same.
Okay. Council just nods at the bird and points to the door.
Wander takes off.
Okay.
Heads to the west first to scout the battlefield, and see where where the Dwarn would have staged, presumably, to see if he can find the excavator entrance hole first.
Okay. Sure. Make me 2 perception checks as you're doing that.
Okay. And I have advantage on those. Keen sight for the eagle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's perception is wisdom. 14.
14 for the first one. And
Yep. And the second one is 17 for the second one.
Okay, cool. You take off up and over the walls of the city, and you fly out through the large, like, barren middle area between where the city is and like the large outer wall. And doing so, as soon as you pass the outer wall, you can see at that space significant signs of struggle. There are dead hewn within the walls, like that large outer wall. And then there is a lot of just disturbed sand and earth on the other side, followed by a large trench of sand that leads westward, kind of the same way that you're flying. As you continue to fly, you're only, I don't know, maybe a couple miles outside the city, probably 1 at most. And you find you're following this trench that's been dug through the earth, headed like directly towards the mountains. And you find I have a sneeze. It's like right on the edge there. Man, that sucks. You see this area that is, there's no, like, nothing has been left behind. There's not like tents, or there's not like, battlements or anything that have been built there. But this particular area of this large sand, it hasn't been like blown smooth like the rest of this area. It's almost like patted down. Like you can tell there's a lot of foot traffic that was here. And there is one massive hole in the sand that you can see, that the large like trench kind of goes past in its way.
And how far outside of the outer walls was that? Or was it inside the outer wall?
I changed my answer. It's probably closer to 2-ish miles outside of the main wall, the main like outer wall.
Okay.
So that's probably the encampment. I know story tabletop.
Yeah.
That's what we remember. What used to
Okay. I fly a little bit. I fly until I'm over it. I'm a ways up to try and not be at a reasonable height based on what Tizal taught me to be able to see things and still not be spotted. I get
Sure.
right over it so I can see a little bit further and see if there's anything beyond that other than just tracks lead. I'm looking to see if I can tell if there are tracks back to Touchstone. I know it wouldn't be easy to distinguish that from the tracks to the camp, but I'm kind of looking to see if there are fresh tracks leading away at all.
Make me another perception check.
Okay.
Actually, make me an investigation check. Because
Eagles
I'll
don't
give
have
you
advantage on investigation
are.
checks.
With advantage, because Tizal taught you so well.
Yeah, he sure did. He's a master investigator.
Uh, oh, eagles have low intelligence. Okay.
That is the most unpatriotic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. 7?
7. So you do see tracks that lead back towards the mountains. There are two large sets of tracks that lead back towards the mountains, and in the middle of those tracks there is that large groove of sand. And then you see those same tracks are the ones that extend all the way back to Orin.
Okay. All right. Wander actually has no. He goes back to the tower.
Were you gonna fly in the hole?
No, I was thinking about checking on the ship and sledge, but I wanted to
Oh.
stay on task for right now.
Okay. You fly back towards the town. And it's the same as you left it. Nothing has really changed. Anything you're looking for in particular, or
I'm
Just
keeping an
around.
eye on things as I'm flying by and staying at a pretty decent height, and then circling down to a lower height. I kind of stay at a pretty good height, and then try and do a tight circle
Sure,
down
yeah.
to the tower.
You're not just gonna like nosedive like Peregrine Falcon down this thing? Come on, coward.
Tizal
Yeah,
very
you-
I'm
disappointed.
still new at this. Come on.
That's true. Yeah, you fly up and over the city. From what you can see at that height, Orin looks very normal. Like there's nothing you can see. There is like the big kind of crater down to the southeast, and there is the temple, and you can see like it's far enough away that you can see there's something wrong about it, but that's it. You can't tell like that there was a big crater beneath it.
Okay.
But other than that, it's Orin. You swoop your way back down to your party.
No. I skip over my party and I go to the tower to see who has barricaded themselves into the tower.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Make me. Are you trying to be stealthy at all about this, or are you just like going at it?
Oh, I'm definitely trying to be stealthy.
Okay, make me a stealth check then.
Okay.
It's funny when Barnabas drinks because it's not a face. The blurred background doesn't highlight his drink, which is so blurred out, so it kind of looks like a criminal, like a CSI thing, or like an investigation where they blow out products and stuff. It's like that. He's drinking this nondescript yellow can.
This delicious nondescript drink.
I love yellow.
They haven't paid Spencer enough for product placement.
They haven't paid me anything. I've given them lots of money.
15.
We'll get Logan Paul to sponsor us.
Please no.
And he makes delicious hydration drinks.
Yeah, he's in the lab.
They're so good.
He's just peeing in bottles.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's the Schwan.
Don't ruin Prime for me.
No, we're going to.
I'll ruin everything. What did you roll, Barnabas?
15.
15? Okay. Yeah. So you fly to the tower. And you find one of the kind of the skinnier, like open windows that you had seen before and Tizal used before. You land in the window and peer inside, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Make your perception check.
The 19.
19. You can see the door that you are used to coming in has just like bookshelves, and like the table that was normally in the middle of the room is like pushed up against it, and you can see like chairs and stuff like stacked up against it to make a nice barricade. And there are 2 Dwarn that are in the tower, and they are just going through in the corner of the room, like all of the records, like all the books and all of the Dwarn tablets that have been brought up. And they're just kind of like looking at them, like giving them a once over. And like you can see they're throwing some to the side. They're putting some in another pile. And they're just kind of like furiously doing this while constantly like one keeps getting up and like going to one of the windows and like looking out to see if like there's still people there, or the other one is just constantly doing that and like looking at the door. They seem to be pretty heads down in their task.
I take off and leave them to their business.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you take off back to you going back to the group at this point?
I am. I go back to the group.
Fly back to the group. They're still where they are.
I give a full report on what I saw. I transform back to my natural form and give a full update.
Sure.
Well done.
I was glad I was able to confirm it's none of our compatriots left in the tower. I have a great deal of sympathy for the Magister. Those Dwarn certainly were focused, and they were not being gentle with any of the Magister's things. But that confirms to me that no one we knew was left in that tower. Regardless of what those Dwarn find, they're going to have a lot of non to deal with on their way out. And did I recognize either of the Dwarn from?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
Nope.
And they weren't anyone I recognized from anywhere else. So
No.
there's 2 random Dwarn in the tower. I don't think we need to worry about them.
What were they wearing?
So if looking at these Dwarn, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart from any other Dwarn. They weren't wearing power armor.
Okay, that's
what I feel
the,
like is
the
what I'm
real
looking for.
the real question. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they weren't in armor. All Dwarn look the same to me, except for you, of course. But
If there are
Oh.
if there are 2 Dwarn left that you saw in the tower, there's bound to be others. We still can't be certain how many remain within the city walls.
Marquand, you said you can see things that are invisible. Is that a natural ability of yours, or do you need to expand? Oh, fascinating.
No, I need to use my power from Neruya to accomplish this.
Well, as we are at critical junctures in our journey, perhaps it would be best to use that when we can't use the crystal, to use that ability to make sure that there aren't any Dwarn trying to track down our compatriot here.
But does he have it prepared? Because
We do.
clerics have to prepare beforehand.
We do.
Wait, Felix can do it too. He has it prepared.
He's got infrared vision on his visor.
Yeah.
He goes full predator vision.
So we can't do much about those Dwarn. I don't like the idea of them getting more knowledge.
The knowledge they gain, will it allow them to get into this heart of the world?
I don't think so.
The Magister could have had information about it, and perhaps in a language he didn't understand, but I feel like the Magister told us a lot of what he knew, and he certainly didn't know how to get into the heart of the world.
They might be looking for something some things that we have.
My prediction is that they will discover they cannot enter without the keys, which is what we have, which means they will either wait for our return or they will send someone after us. That is an educated guess at best.
I think that's a good idea, or a good guess.
So we have two options. We can either kill the guards at the gate and leave before we get swarmed, which is preferred because I have a strong desire to kill Nan. Or we can work our way, not corrupted Nan, not
Present company excluded.
well, not
I don't know you very well, so I don't know that I was excluded.
not yet.
There were a lot of non trying to kill us recently.
I'm struggling not to kill everyone right now, if that puts it into perspective. Council twitches a bit.
You're so emo.
He's almost
Or
killed a couple of us a few times, so it's
we
bad.
can
That's true.
we can
Puts
work
on his
our
My Chemical Romance hoodie.
Bully McGuire
When I
dance.
was a young boy. Or we can work our way to the hole that the tunneler went through, as Wanda described. It is vacant of Dwarven. We could work our way out to the western part of the city and back to the ship.
How tall are the walls?
The walls are about 40 feet high.
Okay.
Can any of you dig?
I can't dig.
That
I
would
can do a
take
lot of
days.
things, but
I dig.
I have if someone has a
Ishmael,
rope that's is about longer than 40 feet, about the height of the wall, I could get us out
I have rope.
of that length. I used to have some, but I used it as a trap.
would we have to climb the rope manually, or is this some magical?
We would have the rope would be. I have a way to suspend the rope so we could climb up it.
So we would be slowly climbing a 40-foot vertical surface in daylight.
We could do it at night.
I can
We
also
should not-
I can summon weather that will obscure the view.
I will need to
What?
to rest in order to get this ready, or to work on this overnight.
I think we should leave.
Why don't
We should
just
leave
go through the
now.
hole?
We should go through the hole.
I think we should go through the hole.
We've wasted enough time in the city. We need to get to the ship. We need that stick. And we need to get to the heart of the world.
Sure.
It's just sick of this campaign.
And and
Speed
the
run.
and the tracks. So I was having trouble following what you were saying, Spencer, about the description of the tracks.
Yeah.
So is it basically like they drove the digger back out of the city? Because you said there was like the trench. There was like the trench that went from the city out to the encampment, and
Correct.
then also back to the mountains.
Yes. Yeah. So you would know things that Wander doesn't. But Wander saw 2 sets of tracks alongside a large trench in the middle.
Hmm.
So some of that information may be intentionally obscure.
So
And I apologize.
if Wander said that to us, Felix could probably figure out, and I'm guessing just from meta knowledge, that it's a big drill and there's wheels on it, right?
So Felix would know that the digging machines, they do leave heavy tracks, but they don't tend to like leave a trench in the middle. Like they have ground clearance themselves.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Did they drag something?
That's just what clicked in my head. Did they take though?
Are you sharing this with the group?
Felix mentions that based on your description of the tracks, the digger may have been dragging something away.
Can we see the bell tower from where we're standing? Or we're kind of inside, aren't we?
The bell tower on the outer wall.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't from here.
How
Could
big?
they
Good.
could they have taken a bell? Would they have any need to?
Felix, ask your compass where the entrance to the heart of the world is.
I ask where the entrance to the heart of the world is.
From here, it would probably point westward.
Which it already was previously, right?
Yeah, the closest one. It's
Yeah.
the gate. Why would they need the bell?
I think about that bell.
It points westward.
If it's in touchstone, it's going to be pointing west.
Yes.
So is the gate.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
else would
line
they
up
have
right
possibly
now.
taken from Orin that
Well, if
they want to
if-
drag across the sands?
Did Wanda? Did you see any tracks within the city, anywhere other than from the hole it came from? Because if it drove somewhere and then went west, not that it really matters because we're not going to change our course, but
Did I?
So you did not see any other tracks within the city.
Could they have been the? You said the non mentioned that the Dwarn collect their fallen. Maybe they could have been dragging a thing with their fallen on it.
potentially.
They did lose a lot of very valuable sets of armor. They probably want that back.
We won't figure that out here, where we are sitting ducks, so to speak. So, to the hole?
Well,
Through the hole.
be
Let's
ready to
go.
fight.
All right. I cast Pass Without Trace on the party again. Assuming it's been over an hour since it was first cast.
Okay. And you also, it's not concentration, is it?
No, it is.
Oh, well, so you changed shape, so you would have dropped it, right?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
not? Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
I don't know. Either way, you're recasting it. It's probably been over an hour.
You can maintain concentration through beast or
Yeah.
shapeshifts. Yeah, because you have to cast it before you shapeshift because you can't really
Yep.
cast it while you're shapeshifted. But that's something you can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Either way, yeah, it's been over an hour, so you can cast it again. That's fine. If everyone would then, make me some stealth checks. You make your way southward.
And we get plus
Ugh.
10,
You get
Yep.
plus 10 to whatever your roll is.
Mhm.
27.
Barkwan, you're not being stealthy. You're just slithering.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
going
I
back to
did-
my route.
I did look up
23.
What did you say, Adam?
33?
23.
23.
30.
33.
33.
Wander, you got 30?
Mhm.
Jesus.
Wander
I've
appears
I've camouflaged, so I get advantage on stealth checks plus Pass Without Trace.
Does Pass Without Trace give us advantage?
Plus 10.
No, just plus 10.
It's just a straight.
Just plus 10.
Just
by
plus
the way.
10.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, no big deal.
Okay. Wait. What?
Relatively soon, can we do a bio break, please?
Probably do that.
No, hold it.
I really gotta go.
Pee in a cup. Pee in a cup. Don't be a coward.
Just go,
Pee in-
man.
Pee in
Just
your
go.
prime. Pee in your prime. It's just like Logan wants.
And I did. Yeah, that's right. So heavy armor only imposes disadvantage. There's no max whatever. So I have 22.
No, there's still a max.
Where does it say that in the book?
Full plate?
I've been trying to figure out. Let's see. Stealth. If the armor, it's just for stealth. It just, I guess, maybe dexterity. You might be thinking of the max,
sorry. Yeah, I sorry.
max you can add to your
max
AC.
to AC.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
just have disadvantage on stealth. My bad.
So okay, with disadvantage, I have 22.
with disadvantage 22. Cool. So you guys make your way southward. There are a couple situations where Barjuan passes into a street and then immediately. What? Did my headset just die? What's going on here?
I don't know.
Can you hear
Yes.
us?
None of us said anything.
We got you.
We can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
My headset just did something weird. Yeah, where Barjuan passes a street and then like he has to make a sign to you guys to stop really quick, and like he has a side conversation with some passing non. But overall, you make your way south and east to the hole relatively easily.
Cool.
In those conversations, he'd be planting the seed about like hearing whispers of invisible Dwarn and keep an extra eye out. Blah,
Okay.
blah, 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 blah.
They start actively looking for us.
Okay, cool.
We found people behind you.
Look back there.
Watch out! No, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way into the hole relatively easy.
Okay. Council looks for traps.
Well, why don't you take our bio break here,
Oh, by
Yep.
and then
Yeah,
you,
we're in a hole.
I mean, are you doing that beforehand? Because Ishmael's just immediately climbing into the hole.
Oh yeah, Ishmael can go ahead. If he wants to be the trap detector, that's fine.
Yep.
Council lets him go. All right, bio break.
That's how they ran it in Cube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You throw a shoe or a barbarian. He can...
Mm-hmm. Same thing. All right. I got a minute.
All right, be back.
Here's what my Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Do, 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 do. Ugh.
Came back earlier, but no one was here, so I left again. I was like, all right, fine. And luckily, my family was just getting back, so I was able to help with dinner. Like a good dad.
Yeah, best dad.
Hoo-ah.
I was singing by myself while eating crackers and cheese.
Well, and because your office was locked, I didn't get to say, because a good dad, State Farm is there.
Thank you.
Gotta put on a red polo, Spencer.
Boo,
Jokes.
Boo, boo, boo. Ow.
Oh, so you're still. Oh, okay.
What?
Oh, pick something up.
What? I can't hear you. I need to mute. Did you just fart in here? What's going on?
No.
Is she crop dusting you?
That's what I was wondering. She just like made a face and refused to answer and then left.
She didn't crop dust. She cast fog cloud.
She misty stepped.
Oh, that's. Ugh. Is that how that works?
Yeah, you leave behind a little fart cloud when you misty step.
Does that mean everyone within melee range has to make a Constitution save?
It depends on what you ate that morning.
It's always burritos.
You eat burritos. It's a breakfast burrito. Sure. Oh, Adam's back. Like, hi. The big, like, floppy hand wrist wave. Hi.
Elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, wrist. Elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, wrist.
Hello. This is my float wave.
That's the one.
Yep.
In Duluth, there was always the Christmas City of the North parade, which was in December, kind of a little bit before Christmas time. So it was regularly like 10 degrees for the parade. And these poor people, like bands would be playing, trying to keep their lips from freezing to their instruments. It was just, it was egregious. I don't know why we did it, but it was Duluth. So, you know.
This is such a random thought. But seeing Adam wave made me realize I don't think I've ever seen my father wave. Ever. At anyone. For any reason.
Oh,
It's just this
What?
random thing. I was just imagining, like, I've seen people wave, and I was thinking of my family because they're, vacationing. Like, I've never seen my father wave. It's like I've never seen him. He's never gone shopping ever in his life.
Have you
No,
ever seen him
picturing that.
do? Have you ever seen him do the wave?
No, he would. No, of course not. He would stay seated and think everyone around him is crazy.
That tracks.
how? He's
Are you-
gone to like a gas station, right?
No, never.
Has he?
Why would he go to a gas station?
He's gotten gas for his car, right?
Right, but he pays at the machine. And in South Africa, there's people that do it for you, so you just stay in the car.
It's like Oregon.
Yeah.
Or New Jersey.
Is
Got a
are you cosplaying your dad when you're council?
My
Is that what
father
this
has
is?
emotions. He's a very goofy person. I
Okay.
get my sense of humor from him.
Okay.
But he doesn't do things. Yeah, it's very
Has he ever high fived anyone?
No.
Because I'd think that was way weirder. He has
No.
high five but doesn't wave.
Never. I'd never seen him high five.
So kind of just firm handshakes and salutes. That's
Maybe not a salute. He was in the military for a while, so maybe a salute. But
What if next time you saw him, you just put your hand up for a high five and said, "Put it there, brother"? What do you think he'd do?
he would ask if I was okay.
Best answer.
Yeah, my father doesn't do that sort of thing. He left a job once because they kept trying to make him do corporate stuff, and he was having none of that.
Tracks.
Like going to like team bonding activities and things like that. He's like, no, this isn't kindergarten. We're adults.
Boy, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen him work at Anytime Fitness.
You'd have just never been hired.
He would have been a non-rude but equal temperament Bendy. Like he's very polite and he would never be mean to anyone for any reason, but he would take zero part in anything. It's just like total. Like everyone's clapping, he just kind of sits there with his hands. He's like, I don't have a reason to clap. Why would I clap?
One of my favorite Bendy memories, and I don't care that we're on Twitch. We were downstairs in the Commons, and the HR team was giving an overview of the benefits package, and then they went over the pet insurance thing, and then Bendy scoffed and said, "Why would you need pet insurance?" Loud. And then someone next to him said, "But what about my dog?" And he said, "Let it die!" To their face.
Yep.
Bendy and I agree on that.
It was amazing. I've never laughed so hard unexpectedly at something in my life. Oh,
I get it.
so
That-
funny.
That was absolutely the way I was brought up. Yeah, we can get a dog. I'll pay for food for the dog. If the dog gets cancer, the dog dies. Humans need money more than dogs. We do not spend $4,000 on medical expenses for dogs. That was
When the dog learns to do surgery and fix other dogs, the dog can go get a job to go pay for his own dang surgery.
right.
All right, now that we're done with this controversial conversation,
Come at me.
Dismiss.
you are outside a big hole, except for Ishmael, who's climbing down into the hole.
I mean, and it's not like his eyes are closed and he's climbing down there, but the plan was to go down there and he's trying to get things moving, and so he's just climbing down, but being observant at the same time.
He didn't
So what-
cannonball.
What you
So there's like a giant bear trap.
Yeah. What you see when you come up to this hole is it's about 10, 15 feet across. And it is at an angle. Like machine didn't come straight up out of the ground. It came up at an angle. And it came through like several buildings. Like there's destroyed property here. It's like a sinkhole in that way. But like, yeah, the buildings around it, they fell in. But the machine is no longer there. There's no sign of any life around the hole. It is just a big hole in the ground.
Council's going to wait for Ishmael to get about 5 seconds of walking distance in front of him, and then he's going to follow.
Okay.
Make sure to stay out of the blast radius.
Got it. 30 feet at least.
Seeing Council hesitate and then following as the first one behind him, Ishmael's just crop dusting the whole way.
Council's just like,
Council with the power move.
Barquan's so confused by the customs on the surface.
He's just snorting in that noon gas.
Smells like brimstone.
It's sulfuric.
Noon gas. No, thank you.
The noon fumes.
The noon fumes. Bro, the noon
The
fumes.
Nooms. Ugh.
The fumes. The noon juice.
Noom
Oh, no.
sounds like a scientific unit of measurement.
A noom?
A noom.
We can.
I mean,
we'll make that.
mu is a constant, isn't it?
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm stupid.
Yeah, you use it for statistics, the calculations. I remember that from college at some point.
Gross.
it's also neutronium.
Sure. So you guys make your way down into the hole, and it's. I mean, after 90 feet or so of walking, it starts to get real dark down there.
No, it doesn't.
For those who don't have dark vision, it starts to get real dark down there.
How
Wanda,
much?
and Ishmael.
How much light is Wander's orange glow giving off?
No more than like Felix's suit. It's maybe 5 feet, right? Like
Okay.
not much at all.
Council puts his finger on like the collar of Felix's suit and just kind of lets him lead through the tunnel.
It's just walking behind him.
Felix kind of notices that and like, and he holds out his hand and a light emits from it that, what does this do? Oh, bright light in a 30-foot radius and a dim light for an additional 30 feet. So he kind of just like holds his hand up and it emits this 30-foot bright light. Or no, dim light. No, yeah. Gosh, I can't
think
read.
30
bright
feet
light.
bright light.
30 feet of bright light, 30, yeah,
dim
yep.
light.
There we go. I make it light.
I'm picturing like Iron Man's repulsor.
It's kind of like
exactly.
that. Yep.
Yeah, it's just like a flashlight. In
He's
his
holding it up like this so that it's the whole radius.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So you guys now have light, and you're making your way through this tunnel. Is there anything you're looking for? You're just walking.
Yeah.
Council's gonna
I mean,
keep an ear out on the off chance that some of the ground beetles were attracted to the tunneling and has made a home in here in the last, half day. But
Sure.
otherwise, he's just walking. It's fine.
Okay.
Felix isn't going to expect anything, but he is keeping an eye out for any glints of raw alchemite he sees underground,
Okay.
as he would always.
I'm sure they would have left those behind.
They could have been in a hurry.
It's true.
Also, this is under a desert. I'm not expecting to find any mineral stashes, but I'm hoping.
Can both make me perception checks.
Barquan's looking for treasures.
14.
15.
Give me a perception check. 14, 15. No alchemite that you can see. It does become pretty rocky within, a couple feet below the surface, like maybe 10, 15 feet of sand, and then it is just like rock bed.
Is your guys' does your act of observation slow you down, or are you still moving at like your full movement speeds? Does that question make sense?
Is Ishmael gonna rush us like he does in every other session?
Yep.
I would not. I'm not in a hurry, but I'm also not letting this slow me down.
Okay.
Yeah, Constable was walking on pace.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 14, by the way, Spencer.
At a medium pace, you mean?
And
Medium.
walking at medium pace through this tunnel, you're not hearing any of the telltale signs of the creatures coming through the ground, Council. Barquan, you do find a very nice, kind of polished rock that seems to have been here. It seems like a nice piece of treasure for you to take back with you. Stow it away in your bag, but that's about it. Other than that, it is just a very jagged pathway down here. Maybe 30 feet below the surface, and it kind of levels out, and you're walking at more of like just a straight path.
Cool. For like what? 3 miles? 2 miles, I guess?
A couple miles underneath the earth. About 3.5 miles or so. And then, so that takes better part of an hour before you pop back out the other side.
Okay.
So eventually you do start to see the light of day on the other side of that tunnel. And there's some, you can see the tunnel does again start to go back upward, and that like rocky level starts to turn back into sand and dirt. You come out the other side.
Yeah, Council lets Ishmael go first, and then waits a few seconds, and then comes out.
Okay.
What, as he exits the tunnel. I mean, he's not necessarily taking like stealth action, but just being observant, trying to not be an idiot, but again, not being stealthy. Do I see
biggest
anything? Yeah. Do I see anything noteworthy, or any Dwarn around?
Maybe a perception check.
Sorry, I
And
missed it.
it's
Did we get to the end of the hole?
Yep.
Are we climbing out? Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, you're climbing.
so it's still daytime outside of the hole. It's light again, right?
Yeah, it's probably it's like early afternoon at this point.
Okay. And you said perception, right?
Mhm.
17.
Okay. Climbing out of the hole, looking around, you don't see anything in the immediate vicinity. You haven't been to this part of the sands before, so this is your first time. I think what would probably catch Ishmael's attention is just that, like, it's just sand, like, for miles in either direction. And it's flat and it's really boring.
He kind of looks back towards the group and says, "It's just sand. You're safe to come up, Council." And kind of smirks at him.
Council climbs out.
Okay. Everybody climbs out of the hole, and you are out
Stop.
where the Dwarven had their encampment.
Starts walking northeast.
Yep.
Yep.
To the boat.
If it's clear that this was the Dwarn encampment on his way out, I think Barkwan would want to search. See if he sees anything left back by the Dwarn, any
Sure.
treasures, any information.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
the
we'll
order
under
that
does
you
the same.
listed that. Treasures and information.
In that order, he's a hoarder.
Yeah. Treasures are first. All non are hoarders. That is canonical.
I was on A&E once.
Make me a perception check.
He could be a captain Dragonlance. And
22.
22. Looking around, you don't see anything. What you do pick up on is that it's weird that you don't find anything. That they purposefully cleaned up after themselves. They left nothing behind besides this large, kind of flattened and downtrodden area of sand. Very disturbed patch of the desert.
Does anyone else find it strange that the Dwarn would have done so well to clean up after themselves?
it makes sense considering their materialism.
I don't know much about that race.
Everything is a resource to Dawn.
Would Felix know, having been with the Breakers?
No, what specifically?
Just like what their protocol is when they are like out and about and setting up camp and stuff. Like, do they normally like clean up after them? Like don't leave hardly a trace.
So the time that Felix spent with the Breakers was entirely under the mountains, and anywhere that they went, they set up like permanent encampments.
Sure.
They didn't really like set up like a temporary spot. But you could understand that, like, yeah, kind of to what Council said. Like they have valuable things that they bring with them. They wouldn't want to leave behind, especially like if they left something and it fell into the hands of somebody who could take advantage of it against them. They probably wouldn't want that.
The Breakers have a lot of valuable equipment with them, and they likely want to clean up everything. They also understand the value of knowledge and the value of letting that fall into an enemy's hands.
Makes sense.
Felix, now that we're out in the desert, would it be wise to check on the location of the boat again?
I think of the boat, and I'll look at the compass.
The compass points west.
What?
That's what they were dragging.
Oh no!
How did they
Crappers!
get it?
What? There's no way, because they had it from the walls of the city. Isn't that where the track started?
They could have
Outside the walls.
piloted it.
Yeah, they might.
But then why would they be dragging it if they could pilot it? Sorry, are we saying this in character? We're metagaming.
We could say it in character because our character.
Yeah.
We told Sledge to have a holding pattern in the middle of the ocean. How they got it is that is a wonder.
You told
I also wonder if they got it from the water to here, why did they need to drag it?
Right, that's what I was thinking.
We do not know in what state they claimed
Huh.
it in.
Perhaps Sledge put up quite a fight.
You may have.
Wonder. Sorry, go ahead, Council. Oh, I thought I was cutting you off. Wonder. Thinking of the tracks that you saw, or we're outside and we can see the tracks now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So does it look? I mean, we were on the ship a while. I think I have a pretty good idea what the ship looks like. Does it seem like this is the shape? If you were to be dragging the ship, this is kind of the shape it would make.
If you were to drag that ship through the sand, it would leave a significant trench,
Okay.
roughly the size, at least, of what you're seeing here.
Crap. So we think the Dwarn have the ship and possibly Sledge and
We don't think.
what's his name?
We know.
Could
What
you
is his name? I'm drawing a total blank.
could you think of this
Who?
man Sledge?
It was just Sledge in the.
He's thinking of Jurgen, which Jurgen was.
Oh,
not.
we left Jurgen
Yeah,
at the.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, he's at the temple. Yep.
Sorry.
Could you
He was
think,
at the temple.
could you think of this friend of yours, Sledge, and look at
Question.
Compass?
Good question.
I think of Sledge.
Compass points west.
If they fought Sledge and even hurt him or destroyed him, they would still hang on to him because he is a piece of technology.
Agreed.
He is a
Absolutely.
wonder. We
Last Compass question. The leader of these breakers, you call them?
Etherwolf.
Aethelwolf. Ooh, that's a scary name. Could you think of him
Thanks.
and look at Compass?
I do that.
It points west.
If they are rummaging through I believe you called him Magister, his books and findings, and now have your ship, could they be headed south for the same object we are?
the tracks lead west.
Yes.
They're taking it back to Keystone
Touched
or
it.
Touchstone.
That's
Okay.
They.
And the excavator is how fast? How far do you think it could have gotten? Or how far do I think it could have gotten? Towing something like the boat.
That would slow it down, but it has. I mean, depending on when it started dragging the boat, it could have made it back to the mountains easily by now. It could have potentially dragged it underneath the mountains.
So there's a
Marcus.
danger. There's a danger of us going to get the boat. First off, we don't need the boat really, and we also have all the keys in our possession except for one. If we bring it there, and if
Bringing the keys to Touchstone is a bad idea.
And
But if
how do we plan on going? I suppose we could find a different ship.
Why do we need
it
a
would
ship?
take such time, such a long time to travel to where the stick is.
I might not be recalling correctly. My recollection of the map is that we have to go south, and there's an island off the south edge of the continent that we need to get to.
That is true.
Wanda, do you have the ability to transform into a bird again and see if you can spot the ship? Because
I
if they're
can.
not in Touchstone, go ahead.
I can, and I should have checked previously. I actually thought of it briefly, but I wanted to stay on task. Although I suppose we would have had just as many questions now as if we had the other way.
The Dawn City is underground. I doubt Wanda would be able to see it. As a
No,
bird.
I agree, and I only mean if they are still traveling, if they have not yet made it to the underground entrance.
I do think it is prudent, because while they probably have had enough time to get there, we don't know if they ran into trouble on the way. There's a small chance that they did.
So we
Barquois.
believe pursuing the ship is important.
If it's a low-hanging fruit, like if it's stuck in the desert outside of the mountain, yes. Otherwise, I think we should head south. We know of another ship that's being built. Otherwise, we can probably figure out a way across.
Barquan, do you fight? Can you fight?
Yeah, I'm known to roll up my sleeves, so to speak, yes?
He
Fe-
only just killed
Fe-
5 Non when we first met him.
and
It was scary. I wouldn't want to go up against him.
Felix, if the ship is within the desert still, can our party overtake a group of Dwarn?
We did in the temple.
We partially did. They fled, and they detonated that device.
One of them fled.
One fled. The others died.
We killed the rest pretty handily.
Fair enough. I don't have much experience fighting your kind.
In the midst of this conversation, Wander gets mildly impatient and decides to once again transform into an eagle to do some scouting. This time, however, he's just feeling a bit spicy, so he tries to run and transform while he's running to try and do a majestic run to bird form just to see if it works.
While he's running off, Felix is going to say, you heard where we're going to head, so go do that.
Are we going west to follow him?
I don't expect to find the ship.
Yeah, I would have take that as I'm going to circle back to where they are, and if they weren't where I found them, I was going to go south from there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we?
I think it, on the off chance that the ship is not in Touchstone, I would rather be closer to it than not.
That's a good point. A jump start getting to the southern tip of this island won't help much, but a jump start to the boat if it's out in trouble. I get it.
Council starts walking west.
Okay. Yeah, you watch as Wander runs off and does his turn into a bird, and as he is running, there is a greater oxygen flow over the embers, so there's a little bit more flame this time to it, rather than just like the little sparks that came off of him. And out of this fiery running tree comes a bird out the other side.
Does he say flame on?
I was thinking like Animorphs.
Morphs.
You remember that?
Yes, yes, I
Like
do.
terrifying. Like,
Speaking of like
art.
the most uncool transformations ever.
Have you read those books? Those transformations were horrifying. Like bones snapping and skin tearing. It was painful for teenagers. But yeah, council goes west.
As we start to go Ishmael asks Felix, y- before we left the city, did you mention needing a rest?
That was if we were going to use my way to get over the wall. I don't need that anymore.
Ah, okay. All right. Ishmael keeps
Glad
walking.
we did it this way instead.
Are you hurt, Ishmael? Do you
Uh,
need to rest?
No, I only meant to make sure the rest of the party didn't need a rest.
Okay.
I was going to make an offer to allow them to rest while we traveled.
Okay. Let's go west.
Wander, you are flying west already. As you approach the mountains, what you see, make me a perception check, actually. I'm assuming you're doing kind of the same thing, keeping a nice height to where you're flying.
I
Yeah,
just had
yeah.
an awesome thought. Oh gosh. Okay, sorry. I really hope this happens.
I might have a similar thought.
It was as awesome as my thought around taking a rest while moving westward, then yeah.
So good.
Yeah, 16. Run my perception check.
See. You fly high westward, and you see the mountains, and you start to see the cave that you have gone in a number of times before. And as you approach and as you get closer, what you see is very strange, because the back half of the boat is sticking out of the entrance of the cave.
Wonder very, very cautiously circles in a little bit closer.
Okay.
To see if he can see anything else. Again, being extremely, extremely cautious.
Okay. Make me a stealth check if you want.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, good. That'd be a 5.
Okay. You think you're being stealthy. You fly down to the ship.
Like a laden
I don't
boat.
fly down to the ship. I start
Oh.
getting just a little bit closer to get a better
Oh,
view of what's going on, but not super close.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anyone immediately around the ship. Seems why.
But does it look like it's just sticking out of the entrance where we went before? Like they just drug it partway in and couldn't fit it, and it just got stuck?
That's kind of what it looks like. Looking at the size of the ship, it doesn't look like it fit in the cave. They basically drug it there, tried to wedge it in as far as they could, and just couldn't.
Yep.
Good
Okay.
thing we brought a thick ship.
Dummy thick ships save
5
lives.
C's.
All right. I fly back to the group and let them know what's happening.
You still have the crystal, don't you?
No, Ishmael has the crystal, I'm pretty sure. Or Ishmael, did you give me the crystal? Okay, yeah.
We have the looking glass crystal, and we have the walkie-talkie crystal.
Oh, the walkie-talkie
Ishmael-
crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
Ishmael has
have.
the looking glass crystal. The little eyepiece.
Except he can't talk while he's a bird. Caw, caw, caw.
Ah!
Disturbed wood noises.
Wander looks around to see if he can see the behemoth anywhere around.
Make me a perception check.
I imagine that because the Dwarven don't know the outside world very well, they didn't know that the Behemoth patrols every day, and I thought that they were like as they're pulling the
Yeah.
ship in, they were just gonna get ambushed by
When I
this
when
freaking
I
flesh
the whole
tank.
reason why I said they might not have made it is that reason exactly.
Mhm.
It's just carnage.
13.
13.
Yep.
Looking around, you don't immediately see the behemoth. No.
Okay. Yeah, I head back to the group to report.
Or is the behemoth invisible now?
They gave it power armor. We're dead.
This is
It,
the
it
behemoth's
just
power.
ate one of the invisible Dwarven power suits, and it just has all the powers. Just from the inside, it still works. He's just wearing it in reverse.
The suit is wearing him.
Yeah.
He has the power. Yeah. So you fly back to the group?
Yep, I tell the whole story.
Council keeps walking.
Sorry, pretend somebody's daughter was distracting them from what the whole story is. What did he see?
You
Wander,
Ship's
I'll give my report then. I'll role play that. I flew over to where the mouth of the cave is that we entered before. By all appearances, they tried to drag the ship inside the tunnels. The ship did not fit inside the tunnels. So now the ship is essentially a cork at the tunnel entrance.
We
with-
might need to pick up our pace then, but still approach cautiously, because I think if Aetherwolf can't have it, he will disassemble it.
Agreed.
Yes.
And there is no cover out here, so don't try and be stealthy. It's just sand, as Ishmael said.
Do we care if they hear us trying to take it?
Didn't one of you have that spell that made us?
I can cast Pass Without Trace again. It
And we-
only lasts for an hour, so if we think we're an hour away, I can cast it now. Otherwise, I should wait.
I can
What
also
do you
do.
think?
I can do something noisy to potentially get the ship out.
Well,
Sure.
let's. I was flying and I didn't get that close. I think we'd want to do some ground reconnaissance.
We'll get there.
And-
We'll kill anyone who's present, and then we'll figure out what to do.
I would love to be able to bring Sledge out of this situation, but also acknowledge that's not the highest priority. So
He may
If
have
he is not on the ship, I fear he may be lost. I don't think we can enter the Dwarven city at this time.
Council jogs.
Ishmael walks, matching his stride.
Marquand slithers aggressively.
He lopes.
Wander, who has not worn his gigantic straw hat in quite a while, takes out his gigantic straw hat and puts it on.
Nice.
Does it immediately catch fire and
I
burn
was gonna
out?
say, I hope it burns.
No. I would never do that. Not
As
to that.
soon, unless something happens, but otherwise, as soon as the ship is within view, Ishmael draws his sword.
Okay. Yeah, you guys continue walking, and you're avoiding any caution or like stealth. You see the ship within a reasonable amount of time.
And then I cast Pass Without Trace on us at this point.
Okay. Cool. It is starting to get to be like early afternoon. Well, so 3-4-ish in the day. The sun isn't necessarily high, but it's starting to get towards the top of the mountain.
We are approaching evening, so the behemoth will be traveling one way or another in the near future. So we only have a couple of hours before things get interesting.
Well, behemoth.
There is a large creature that passes up and down the mountainside. Based
Generally
on
dawn
the-
and dusk.
Ishmael puffs out his chest and says, "Large creature."
Ishmael, keep your eye looking through your glass, and I'll cast my I'll be able to see invisible things too. And
He does so.
I cast see invisibility, so I can see any of the sneaky folks.
Yeah, Ishmael uses the crystal as we approach.
Okay. Make me perception checks.
And as we approach, Barkwan will cast Bless on Felix, Ishmael, and Wander.
What does that do? D4?
1d4 to your attacks, I think?
Attack and I think checks. Let me double check.
Checks, maybe.
Three creatures of your choice. Attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends.
Okay, so not for
Never,
perception.
never mind. Ignore this.
It's like
This
a
is
minute,
not-
isn't it?
Yeah, it's only a minute. I thought it was longer. Ignore
Combat
it.
spell.
It's a
Yeah,
good
ignore
spell.
me.
It's a very good spell.
17 for perception check.
Non-natural 20.
Nice. Yeah, as you approach the ship with a reasonable amount of caution, you don't see anyone immediately around. Once you get to the part of the sand, which is maybe 60 feet in front of the actual opening to the mouth of the cave, the actual like rock comes out of the sand, and the sand is kind of left behind. And you can see that there is like significant grooves that were caused by dragging the ship across the rock and stone. And the ship, you can see, is not damaged to a point where you couldn't use it, but it has heavy wear and tear on it. Especially like what you can see along like the sides and the bottom of what's sticking out is very like bent and jagged and rough. But you don't see anyone, whether visible or invisible.
Council draws his crossbow and shield.
Anyone
And
confident in their trap detecting abilities?
yeah, he kind of starts sweeping the area.
I'll
Okay.
look to.
Cool. Yeah. Do you want to make them separate, or do you want one of you help the other one?
I will help
Yeah.
because my perception sucks.
Question. Let's say this is just a very low level 5e question. If I am out of second level spell slots, can I cast a second level spell at a higher level spell, even if it doesn't say you do something, get another dice? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You can always use a higher level spell slot to cast a lower level spell.
Okay. I can certainly attempt to see if I can detect any traps around the ship.
19 for perception.
Yeah, Wander casts
Do we-
Find Traps, which has a 120-foot range.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's a huge.
With between the looking with the 19 and the finding of traps, you don't sense any around the ship or around this area. It seems pretty safe.
Council gets on the ship.
Explain to me exactly how you'd like to do that.
How much of it is sticking out?
So where the back, the aft of the ship, where it comes up into like the top deck, that part is sticking out, and up to about where like the stairs go down inside the ship is sticking out.
So he's gonna kind of the back is kind of like a ramp as well, like the front, right?
Yep.
Gonna go
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, it's a little steeper on the back, but yeah, it's
Gonna go up the back, and then kind of onto the deck, and then down.
okay. Yeah, climbing up onto the ship, you can see also up here. Well, so on this surface, it doesn't appear to be damaged at all, but you can see that like down where the ship is like wedged inside the cave, you can see like the railings that were along the top edge are like they're very bent in. You can see the top deck is very scratched up and beat up. But the stairs are accessible if you wanted to go beneath. Otherwise, you're.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of SWAT clear it. Just check.
Yeah,
corners and-
Felix is gonna follow and basically make sure everything is still there.
Okay.
While they do that, Barquan's gonna stay on the ground and keep like an eye out from the mouth of the cave and north and south, just to kind of basically like sweeping the landscape, like looking at the peaks, looking at the ground, trying to see if there are any Dwarn like showing up.
Okay.
Ishmael joins on the ship, and if you guys are going underneath, then he'll go check the deck, like the ship's controls.
Once a few of us get on the ship, Felix is going to say they may have laid an ambush trap for us, so we should keep someone on lookout. And with that thought, Felix is going to think about Aetherwolf and look at the compass.
It's still pointing west.
Okay. If it was pointing north, I would be alert.
It's pointing east.
Yeah.
Think of the closest thing that wants to harm us.
It points back at you. Oh no!
Oh yeah, I guess it would do that.
Yeah. You've already said you wanted to.
Yeah. Not
You're
actively.
holding back
He's-
harming us.
I think about Sledge.
Points
I was
west.
just gonna ask.
Oh.
Yeah,
They climb. So yeah, Council's just assuming they cleared the ship, and his armor's probably gone too. Freaking
And-
damn it!
Oh,
and like the first thing Felix does when he gets below the deck is check and see if that giant piece of alchemite is there.
The alchemite.
Oh, that powers
that's
the ship.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's gone, look at that
Stop.
smile.
Who wants to breathe the brave soul to go check?
I mean,
Council's-
Felix is gonna do that.
Yeah, you get there, and that hatch has clearly been like pried open, and the massive piece of alchemite is missing.
So just this is a stupid question, but it's just empty inside where it was.
Yeah, it's like a TV cabinet with no TV in it. It's just like an empty entertainment center.
So this is just a big ship-shaped piece of metal right now.
Paperweight.
Once the alchemite's back in it, a very useful ship. But
Mhm.
Right.
For some reason, I just pictured Felix looking in there and seeing a few crumbs of alchemite left from the big alchemite piece. He puts his finger down and goes,
That's good alchemite.
Jingly.
What you see is there, like where the alchemite was. It's just like frayed wires sticking up from the bottom and from beneath.
they just like wrapped a chain around it and floored it.
Basically,
I'm assuming you share that with Ishmael on
Yep.
the deck. Okay. Felix, forgive the question, but in our need for haste, is there any way that your suit could power this ship?
Felix is gonna think about that. But do I think there is?
make me a tinker check.
You have a small blue alchemite, don't you?
Yeah, same
Yeah.
color.
So, and the old alchemite was basically acting as a battery for the sails. So, like, yeah, okay.
Oh man.
It's like
So
running
a
a Tesla on
tinker
a
check-
AAA battery.
right.
A tinker check.
proficient?
That is. Am I using any tools?
I'm thinking like you are envisioning how you would do that, like how you're gonna jerry rig stuff together to be able to run a ship. off.
Okay. Okay. So, am I proficient in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd
I mean,
hope
it's
so,
not. It's
Mr.
not. It's not like
yeah,
a.
that's kind of your whole
it's-
thing.
Well, it's not a skill, is it? I mean, is it added?
Well, you have your tinker's tools.
Yeah.
And you're proficient with those tools, so you get to
Okay. I do get a bonus if I'm using tools, but
I will say, because you're envisioning how you would use those tools, like you're not.
I don't get the
using
bonus.
them. No, but you're envisioning how to do it. I would
But
say.
do I get? What am I adding? Do I have my proficiency plus intelligence?
Yeah, you get your
Okay.
proficiency.
Okay. Well, it's a high roll anyway because I rolled a 19, so that
Oh,
is
Dang.
28.
Thinking about his question, you feel you would be able to use your suit, but yeah, it would be running a Tesla off a Duracell. It would be very short term, and you're not entirely sure of what that would do to your suit, if anything.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I could. If you ask me to do anything with technology, I probably can. But it wouldn't do it for very long. And I don't know what sort of state it would leave my suit in.
Wander has been very intrigued by this, but finally hears what Felix said a while ago. Someone needs to keep watch while he's nerding out on this. So Wander is keeping watch.
Barkwan is off the ship keeping watch for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay, Wander just wanders over to see what Barquan is up to and kind of just goes to the top deck and looks around to make sure everything's copacetic.
Council puts in the purple alchemite to see if that'll power the ship.
He tears it out of his chest?
Yeah, it just rips it out.
He rips it out of his chest and it
Boom.
explodes. Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Right, fun
Collapse the
campaign.
tunnel.
Cool.
Mission accomplished.
Noon shows up. Seriously, so
Just saved you guys.
Just for funsies, Ishmael, even after Felix explains things and they talk about the suit and everything,
But why male models?
he tries to just get the ship moving from the controls. Doing the things that Sledge would have shown him.
Yeah,
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying. So he like grabs the helm and like tries to move it around, and it's like trying to move a car when the power steering has gone out. And so he's like kind of wrenching on it. You can hear some like grinding underneath, like very unnatural metallic noises, but the ship isn't moving at all.
Well,
So we go south, or we go to Touchstone.
Or we
Can
go
we
find
survive?
a new supply of alchemite.
you are standing right. Yeah, sorry, I'm not there to converse.
You could use the compass to find a piece of alchemite suitable to power the ship for a long period of time.
All we need to do is hit a raw piece of alchemite with some lightning, which a few of us have shown that they can do.
Such is true. I am not sure which one would take a longer amount of time, so I'm leaning towards navigating the caves for alchemite.
It's safer than trying to get the original piece back.
Absolutely.
I
If we
don't
went
like.
back to Touchstone, it would be to stage a coup and try and rally the Dwarven against the Breakers, but that would take time, of which I'm not interested in spending.
agreed, Council.
It doesn't sit well with me to know that
Barnabas.
Sledge is in their
Council,
hands.
just stage a coup. That's just at first.
I mean,
That'd
we're
be
not
the
going
most
to take them out
practical
by
way.
ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Just rally the populace. Throw them at the problem. Jeez. Welcome to my brain.
And, Felix, with what you know of the caverns below, could there be alchemite near the entrance?
Anything easy to access has since been stripped, likely. But we do have, and I think of a piece of alchemite suitable once powered to power the ship. A piece of raw alchemite.
I'm sorry, you think of what?
A
Wait,
piece of raw alchemite.
I can shape raw material in about a 10-foot cube. If there is alchemite closer to us that is suitable and reachable within a few feet of stone, that may provide a closer source rather than.
Are you saying you can take a bunch of small alchemite and make a big alchemite out of it?
Can I? I have.
You never tried.
I've never. I have to read this down. Hang on. Oh, that's
Alright.
huge.
I like this idea.
No, Council was thinking like because like if we ask the compass, where is a piece of alchemite that we can reach that's suitable to power the ship? It's gonna find one that we can reach like without digging, right? Without mining.
I
Because
brought
that's not
a
part of the question.
pickaxe.
Right, but that's not part of the question. I mean, if you
And
reach-
I
if
have
there's-
these.
If
Which I
there's
hope that
one
was the
like
end.
3 feet behind the stone that isn't excluded, but we can
Yeah.
reach it because of the fabricate spell, then that opens up another, search criteria. I'm thinking like confluent search terms.
I think of that an alchemite that we can reach, a piece of raw alchemite we can reach that can power the ship.
You convert raw materials into products of the same material. For example, you can fabricate a wooden bridge from a clump of trees, a rope from a patch of hemp, and clothes from flax or wool.
Infinite money hack?
Interesting.
I was just gonna
Could
say none of those
work.
go explodey go boom, except for the wood. Sawdust is extremely explosive. So
I mean, if we can make a piece of alchemite bigger than what killed all of us. I just saw Oppenheimer like last week.
Yeah, because
Council's
like
gonna-
we could take out Touchstone, guys.
we don't need this mountain.
We
It's
just
in the way.
collapsed the mountain on them and problem solved.
Council's gonna make just a perfect tesseract cube out of alchemite and put it in the ship, and it's just gonna rocket off.
We'll make a new scar.
All right, so we need to think of the proper terms, just to channel into the compass.
When we fought the Umber Hulks, did they have raw alchemite embedded in their bodies? Or was it spent? Or was it some element?
It was some element.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
Because
you
otherwise we'd have a pretty handy way to get alchemite to come to us.
make?
Just summon a
You're
bunch.
not here. You're not here. Shush, Barquan.
No, you're right. I'm not there.
Wait, what would happen if I use fabricate to merge a
Yeah.
bunch of different elemental alchemites? I think that would explode, and that would be.
But
very
what
bad.
if we merged the same kind of element?
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, so what's the question? Okay, so where I have to write this down now. Where is the attack rider mode? Hang on. Where is the closest? So that's one of the criteria we need. Closest.
I feel like next time we get to the Magister, we should just give Council the compass.
Do you have empty alchemite on you, Felix?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
The last piece is
I
in Council's
did.
chest, unfortunately.
Okay, I was like, wait, why aren't we just taking that and fabricating it? That's what. Okay.
Well, I can only fabricate I can't make it bigger. I can shape stuff.
We need to have enough raw alchemite
Oh.
So we found like a bunch
to
of small
meld
ones
it together.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We just summon a bunch of Umber Hulks and kill them and take the alchemite out of their bodies and just melt it together.
You guys are just setting up your like Chinese gold farm.
So if this
Wonder
is
comes
like,
back downstairs and he's like, "Summon Umber Hulks? I missed something."
If we just smash enough of the rock in the entrance, isn't there going to be enough alchemite dust that you can fabricate it into one huge chunk of it? Is that how
It would have
rock
to be a
works?
lot. Like this, the alchemy in the ship was like beach ball size, wasn't it? Like basketball
Bigger
size?
than that. No,
Yeah,
it was
huge.
it was easily like 3.5 feet tall by like 2 feet wide.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta like how big? How big was?
About this big. Have you seen my beach ball?
Power the ship.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. I think about it. Where I'm thinking about a piece of alchemite accessible to us, a piece of raw alchemite accessible to us that can power the ship. The nearest piece,
Piece of raw all blue alchemite.
for sure. Raw or no, if it's blue, it might just point at my belt.
Well, that. Oh yeah, that's true. Because it could technically power the ship.
So a piece of raw alchemite that could power the ship.
Big enough to power the ship?
Big enough to power the ship.
I'm thinking like
I don't think
something
that exists though, because raw alchemite can't power the ship.
once powered.
Oh, once powered. Okay.
Mm. So, where is a big enough piece of raw alchemite to be powered to power the ship
For an extended period of time.
for an extended period of time?
That's close.
It's an elaborate question.
That is
Oh.
close. That is within 10 feet of me.
That's right there.
The compass points west.
Pointing to the same piece we lost.
That one wasn't raw.
Well, true.
You just move the compass around a little bit, just to see if it changes a lot in direction.
No, it doesn't change a lot
So
in direction, unfortunately.
Well,
My
some of
question
this is
gonna be very-
happening.
Go ahead.
Wanders back out and tries to figure out, like, at the way the ship is jammed into the tunnel. Is there a way we can get into the tunnel from where we are? Kind of looking like, is the ship jammed in there so much it fills up the hole? Are there gaps? How would we make it through? Not that we need to delve into that, but Wander's just exploring that during this time.
Looking at it, you would be able to get around the ship on the sides because the base of the ship is wider than the top. So where it's wedged both at the height of the ship and at the sides of the ship. So there's still a decent sized hole that you could get around on the side.
Okay.
To Consul and Felix, well, I suppose they're the only ones around, but Ishmael says, I have doubt over either of the decisions that lie before us. Both carry different set of risks. Are we sure going into the underground is the path we should take?
Neither option will create any surety. Unfortunately, we don't have the information. We either do this or we go south and hope we can cross the sea manually. The ship being built in the southeast is not going to be done anytime soon. We have to build a raft or something.
Well, we can travel. Go ahead.
When alchemite is mined, is it typically like in veins or clusters?
You found alchemite in veins.
Okay, I think I have my first iteration of my question.
All right, let her rip.
Okay, I tried to cover all of our bases. Where is...
By the way, Felix is saying all this.
Okay.
Council's writing it down. He's like thinking.
Yeah.
That means
There we go.
that Alex has to put on his best Western Felix impersonation. Or I'm just gonna say no.
Where is the closest piece or pieces of alchemite we can use once powered to power the ship equal to or better than the previous piece, not in touchstone, accessible to us with the least amount of effort using the abilities we have available?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's too complicated. I'll paste it in chat.
Or just like write up a whole like contract and then just show it to the compass.
Now
Some
I'm
real
just a
legally-
small town alchemite lawyer.
Now listen here, boy.
Sir, I say sir.
I said, son, I said
Chicken kicking.
chicken. Oh no. The compass points to the west northwest. So it slightly moves where it was pointing almost a little bit south of west. It points more looking westward.
Felix takes out his pickaxe and like hefts it over his shoulder. He's like, well, shall we get to it or shall we get walking?
What is the consensus of the? Well, let's meet up with Wanda and our fish friend to see what
Aw.
they think.
Call me a friend.
Fish person. We have to choose. We can either go into the mountain to pursue where the compass points and the dangers that may arise, or we go south and deal with the dangers that may arise. Either way is not easy. Council goes off the ship and meets up with Barquan and Wanda.
Wow,
Barquan.
Butterfly.
so mysterious.
What is the consensus? We are meant to do what?
We have two choices. One, we can go into the mountain and try and find the alchemite we need to power the ship. So we can take the ship to where we need to go. It allows us to travel much faster and over water. Or, if we think that will take too much time, we just walk south and try and find it manually.
We've made that trip before. Do we know how long that would take on foot?
To walk south?
Yeah.
Oh man. It took you
Like
It took-
weeks, right?
But it's like a week
It would be
in the
so-
boat.
well, no, so from
Isn't
the
it?
forest down at the base of these mountains. Can you see my
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So from the forest down at the base of these mountains up to Orin, which the hole that you're going into the mountain, the cave in the mountain is directly west, was I think 3 days.
boat
Ship?
Constant
Ship
travel aboard the ship. Yeah, aboard the ship it was 3 days.
And the ship goes like what, 20 miles an hour?
It's the ship isn't terribly fast, but it travels 24 hours a day.
Right.
You travel usually like at most you'd be going like 16 hours a day, and that would be very tiring.
How long did it take us to cross the desert? It looks like a similar distance on the map to me.
Across the desert was about 3 weeks.
Well, not to mention when we looked for the staff, it was pointing southwest, which we think is probably on that island. So we'd have to cross the water, the ocean, basically.
Are you guys sharing all
Cro-
this with Barquan?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking out loud, I guess.
Crossing the water wouldn't be a problem, but that does seem like an incredibly long ways to travel.
Crossing the water would be a problem for some of us.
I thought we've discussed this previously, and we had ways to breathe underwater or travel better for those who are unable within water. I imagine Barquan can travel sufficiently underwater. I know I am able to. Wander is able to.
I can't swim.
Barquan explodes.
I make an attack on Barquan.
This is bullying.
20,
You guys are toxic.
24 to hit.
Nope.
You destroy him.
No.
He was a minor illusion this whole time.
So weeks, a minimum of a month of walking
One step
south.
closer to Katamari DeLuca.
That song is such a banger.
It really. Oh man.
A minimum of a month of walking south, including traveling across the water and searching.
A month in the
potentially-
desert.
Yes,
No. We need to get the ship.
we could go along the coast if you need water. It would add.
I
a few
believe my
days.
scaled friend here is correct.
Well, we either go underground, which is antithesis to wander, or we go across the desert, which is antithesis to Barquan.
Oh, no. Oh.
And I care about both of you equally. So
I like the plan where we get more alchemite.
It does seem to be our best bet at this point. I
We are
feel
more-
safe on the ship.
that is, if the ship is here when we get back.
I have an idea about that.
At the party.
Barquan, you
Yes?
said you could get the ship unstuck.
I think so. I've
Do-
never used this power to unstuck a ship.
Do-
But yes.
Do I think, Spencer, do I think with the check I made that I could power the ship long enough to just get it half a mile away to hide it?
With your suit?
Yeah, with my suit
No.
without. Oh.
No. Like it's you would have seconds of power.
Oh my gosh.
You could
All
you
right.
could turn on the battery and the radio would come on for 2 seconds.
Yeah, the AC would kick on and then it would die.
The ship being here when we get back is just a risk we're going to have to take, I think. It seems like Aetherwolf got some new toys he needs to chew on for a bit. I think he's going to do that before he launches another incursion on the city that is now occupied by some very unfriendly non. Felix takes out the mirror and thinks about Aetherwolf. Or like asks whatever he needs to do to get the mirror to show him Aetherwolf right now.
Okay. Okay. You looking into the mirror, you can see Aetherwolf, and he is leaned over on the side of the throne that you had previously seen Lodvar in. And he is staring intently at some other Dwarn that you can see are speaking to him. You can't hear anything through the mirror, but you can see that he is listening intently.
Can you think of Sledge?
I'll think of Sledge. So I do that next.
He's in the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. Thinking of Sledge, you can see Sledge, or at least you can see the armor of Sledge slumped over, basically inside of any number of Dorn homes that you've been in.
I think of Lodvar.
Oh, the king.
Yep. I
Surprised
just saw his
me.
throne. It's on my mind.
See nothing.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
probably definitely dead. Well, it seems Aethelwulf is enjoying his time on the throne.
Into the caves we go.
Anyone else we want to spy on with this?
Just for funsies and inspiration, could you ask to see the walking stick?
Does that work with the objects work with the mirror? I mean,
No.
I'll. What?
No.
Yeah.
The mirror shows you any one you want to see. It doesn't work on objects, unfortunately. Oh, well. Had you used the mirror previously to see Tursink, correct? You
Yes.
saw his dead body. Okay, so yeah, you see Lodvar, and you see a dead body. It's like it's in the throne room, and it's just like off to the side.
They didn't even move it?
Wow, it's gonna start smelling pretty bad
Yeah.
soon.
Don't think Aethelwulf is big on.
Aethelwulf
Woof.
like hung one of those like air fresheners on his nose.
He Febrezes it every couple days.
Yeah.
Good as new.
I think of the Magister.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
You see the Magister bound in chains in the throne room.
Son of a gun.
The Dawn took them.
What?
Oh,
I think of Timmy? What's his name?
Danny.
Danny.
Danny, you see
This is Skyrim. You can't kill kids.
you see him similarly bound. He doesn't have like so when you saw the Magister, he had like a gag over his mouth as well. Timmy just has like manacles on, and he is also like in a room or a home similar to where you saw Sledge.
And I think of Kaz.
Kaz, you see a body. It's in the middle of Touchstone. And you see a fresh hole right in the middle of his head.
Oh my gosh.
you're going to need to be careful with these folks, Felix.
And Felix, what of your blacksmith friend, the
Joan,
I believe her name was?
Felix doesn't respond. And he's just staring at the mirror.
He's
With Kaz? Is that what
Yeah.
you're staring at?
Yep.
I hate to interrupt your own moment of grief, but one of mine is popping up. Would you ask the mirror where Tizal might be? Just to confirm.
I think of Tizal.
You see a certain water skin laying in a crater within the temple.
Thank you for that. It's what I feared, but I feel better knowing.
He's trapped inside of the water skin.
Liquid Tizzle.
Yeah.
No, Felix doesn't say anything. That's all he does.
So did he not share any of this, or did he share this?
We can see the mirror, can't we?
Yeah. Yeah, anyone who's standing by can see what's happening on the mirror.
I'm sorry for the loss of Kaz. Felix.
Felix just starts walking in the direction that the compass points at the alchemite. Says, "There's work to be done."
Okay.
Yeah, council follows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ishmael falls.
Wander follows at the end,
Okay.
very hesitantly.
Ishmael's traveling with his sword drawn at this point.
Yeah.
Sam,
Barkwan has his
okay,
mason.
You look like you have things to say.
Yeah, Barkwan has his mason and shield up, and he would like. I'm assuming people would let Felix maybe even like get a little bit ahead, or would we be sticking closely to Felix?
Council's gonna stay close to Felix for now.
And I think he'll just follow.
As we're walking, Felix says to council, "You still have that gun?"
I gave it to you.
I do have that gun, apparently. He pulls out the gun and like starts fiddling with it as he's walking.
And whenever Pass Without Trace wears off, Wander casts it again.
Yeah, by this point it for sure has again.
Okay, I cast it again.
Yeah, with the setting sun and with the ship taking up the majority of the entrance to the cave, it's not very deep into the cave before it's just pitch black in here. So those again who don't have dark vision, you're relying on either just following closely behind somebody or are you doing something else to navigate?
Council's following the glow on Felix's belt.
Doesn't have dark vision, but he has something else.
Isn't light a cantrip?
No,
For who?
For everyone.
I don't think it's
Oh,
cantrip.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Is it?
Bard, cleric, sorcerer, wizard.
Look at the cleric.
narratively, Barkwan doesn't need that because he can see in the dark somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why he doesn't have it.
Yeah, Barkwana is used to seeing light, 10,000 leagues under the sea, and not lengthwise, like depth.
He got sightless vision.
He's good.
Oh, wow, cool. Council lived in an actual city, like civilization, so he doesn't,
Not like some monster beneath the
right,
waves.
After a little while of walking, Felix remembers that not everyone can see like he does and turns on his hand light.
Cool. Yeah, so everyone is able to see now, and you are walking into the mines.
In a strange, very morbid way, Felix, witnessing the death of what was practically his son, kind of brings Council back a little bit more, because he remembers his whole purpose was to help people, to counsel them. So he's just kind of like walking with Felix, and knowing Felix isn't the talkative type, but he's not twitching as much. He's just kind of walking right now, just walking nearby.
As you are walking straight west into the tunnel, depending on how long you want to walk for, an hour or so passes by, and you reach that junction where there was the continued burrowed out tunnel that curves down and around to the left, and there was the pathway that you took on your return visit up on your first trip down into the mines. You kind of snaked your way back around when you found Jurgen and Sledge, and you kind of came up through some side caves, and you can see that tunnel to your north. And the compass at this point is pointing almost due north.
Oh, pointing north now.
Yeah, so as you were walking eastward, the compass was just going like this the whole way. Until now, it's pointing almost directly.
Using Council's Elm perfect memory, thinking of the map that Jurgen gave us of the underground.
Which
Yeah,
we
there we
still
go.
have that map.
Oh, we still have it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, it's right there.
Hey, look,
So we're at the
so you are right here.
that first junction, and it's pointing
Yep.
north
Okay.
now.
Yep.
Did we
I
ask
don't-
the compass to point us on a continuous path that humanoids could traverse?
No, unfortunately,
Nope.
we can add that to the clause.
Well,
A legal document.
either way, it'd probably be good if we get off the main path.
Agreed. Yeah. Council slips into the cabin.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as we turn to walk in, now that we've been walking a little bit, Ishmael walks over towards Felix and puts a large and heavy hand pressing on his shoulder and just says, "We will avenge the deaths of our friends." And he carries on.
Is it possible that vengeance would be beneficial to the cause? Do we think that Aethelwolf may stop us from succeeding in what we need to do?
Could we keep the conversation to a minimum? There are creatures down here attracted to sound that it would be delightful to avoid if we could.
Okay. You would shut up.
Okay. Go ahead, Adam.
Ishmael just
I'm
starts
gonna-
doing the haka.
I'm going to wait till we start walking. So go whatever you're going to say, Spencer.
Adam's trying to be true to the Ishmael character and also not get the party killed.
I was just going to say, as you leave the main tunnel and head north through those kind of side caverns, Ishmael, it is pretty squeezy for you at points. Wander previously was having to almost like duck and like go sideways through some junctures. And so Ishmael, at times, you are almost having to like go down on your hands and knees to crawl through some of these spaces that the others are walking more comfortably in.
With Wander in his new... Sorry, go ahead.
Just in response to that, Ishmael is super not cool with this at all. And he is...
I can't imagine why. Not at
yeah. Well, so... I don't know if this is a path we should continue on. I am used to the open seas and room to stretch. Clearly, I'm a bit bigger than the average human. These underground passages were enough to be in, and now that we squeeze into tighter and tighter spaces, I worry I may not see the light of day again. Is there another path we can take?
It's unpleasant for a while, but it is survivable. I've been through this before, and I felt at least as terrible as you do.
Felix, how long does your enlarge reduce spell last?
If you get stuck, I can get you out.
You're certain?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't last for long, but don't be too worried about getting stuck.
Okay. I trust you.
I don't want to shush the role play, but if our voices get above a certain volume, Wander having spent a lot of spell slots on Pass Without Trace, is like, let's not screw this up, okay?
I'm not ready to fight right now, please. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. You guys continue through your pathway. Let's see. Can you still see my mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you snake through here and you reach this first junction, Felix, your compass is pointing south or northeast at this point.
Oh,
And it's making pretty significant swings when you move it around.
All right.
So you know that the whatever deposit of alchemite is not terribly far from here.
Let's head up the little north passage here.
Okay. So at this point, you may not remember it, but the incline of the passage that this is following is fairly steep. And in going up and down it previously, I had made you like make several checks with like you were climbing rope and getting around and stuff. With the aid of some of your larger characters, I won't make you do that this time. But know that the area that you're traversing is incredibly steep, and it's not as narrow as the passageway that you just came through, but it is more treacherous to like try and stand still anywhere or like pause. So you're just kind of like constantly making your way up this like steep, slippery cave slope.
Council's gonna try and use the. How wide is this? Like 5 feet, 10 feet?
It varies. I would say probably at the widest, it's maybe like 5 feet across.
Okay.
At the skinniest, maybe like 3 feet.
Okay. Council's gonna try and at the skinny parts, he's gonna wedge his feet into the corners to just kind of shuffle up.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Adam, you unmuted. Did you have something? Or...
Nope, I just muted because I was burping. So,
how dare you not share that with us? You continue your way up this track, which eventually just dead ends. Which I don't know who's leading. I'm assuming Felix.
Yeah,
he's got the sweet light.
Yeah, Felix, you eventually just like run into a cave ceiling where this like more natural formation just kind of ends.
And the compass?
The compass is pointing like directly in front of you.
Okay.
Put on some Minecraft music and
1 second.
That's perfect.
That was,
that was really good.
amazing.
That was very good.
I have like 500 hours in that game.
My kids might have 500 hours in that game.
Oh, Adam for sure has that much.
My kids probably have more.
I'd say I think Owen probably beats out my kids, but
Yeah.
I don't know if Owen's quite the war criminal that my kids are yet, though.
Farquaad would lean in as like seeing that Felix is looking at that in the compass. He would lean in and like touch Felix's shoulder and just whisper in his ear and cast guidance. So once before the spell ends, target can roll a d4 and add a number rolled to one ability check of its choice. You got a minute to do it.
What's his prayer in the quiet cave? Naruya is cool.
Yeah, I guess I'll start just going at it with the pickaxe.
Okay.
Much quieter than talking.
Mm-hmm.
Ting, ting.
Wonder raises his voice to be heard in between the tinging. Council, didn't you say you could shape stone? Do you want to? Would it be quieter to shape the stone out rather than to dig it out?
That is a risk. because part of our clarifying question was piece or pieces of alchemite that we can use with our abilities. If this is leading to a cluster of alchemite that I need to shape, then we will have to manually reach it. If I use my ability to reach the alchemite and have to shape it, we would have to wait a week.
Can you use? Could I use stone shape to like bore a 5-foot cube and separate any alchemite that is in there?
Certainly could.
Ooh,
Like-
we haven't used that since session 2
Yeah,
in the temple.
that's a Dwarn racial ability that I get once a week. I'll
Mhm.
use it right now to do
Wow.
just that.
So you're just taking a 5-foot cube of stone and doing what with it?
Let's see. Form it into any shape that suits my purpose.
Form it into a tunnel.
Make me
I-
armor.
Stone
Stone armor.
Incredibly
Hope you're strong enough to wear it.
not
Yeah,
particularly strong.
We have triple disadvantage on stealth checks.
just kind of a shape to like get it out of the way. Like
Okay.
even just like a couple like rods that kind of snake off.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think doing that would be okay.
yeah, and then any alchemite, just leave it behind.
Okay. So what you find as you are, because you're essentially like digging up at an angle, you are taking this 5-foot cube of stone and kind of like making this long like spaghetti of stone. Like
I mean, I'll make a platform for me to stand on for when I'm
There
done.
you go.
That I have
okay.
sure footing.
Kind of like
I need a-
from the
I need a-
ceiling.
I need a platform.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. This is
Kinda
we're
like
going true DRG right now.
Yep.
uncoiling a clay pot, kind of.
Yeah. So you make a platform for you to stand on. And then there is still, because that wouldn't be very much stone, there's still a lot of stone left. And that you start to more just like
Yeah.
make into this long shape going back down the way you came. And what you find inside is that there are chunks of alchemite that are. What you have to remember is that this is the blood of the Titan, and so the when you say that you were finding it in veins, you were finding it like in literal veins.
Oh,
Dang.
And so you're finding like these kind of broken pieces of alchemite that are probably like a foot long and about 6 inches around. And so there'll be like a chunk that will go up and then it'll be like broken. There will have been some kind of force that shattered it. And then there will be another piece, a couple inches away in the stone. And you're able to like hand these pieces of alchemite out. And you get like a solid, by doing that, I would say like a wagon load of alchemite, of just these like large, again, like almost like brick size or cinder block size pieces
Dang.
of alchemite.
We haven't had that much raw alchemite ever.
I'm
That's
gonna pocket one of the bricks
Okay.
for my own
This-
purposes.
this hunk of alchemite is going to be so big, the ship is going to be able to go Mach speed once we're done with this.
It's gonna sound like a pod racer when we just start it up.
when we
It's a
make
bulbous one.
Sebulbas, yeah.
we make the thing that's gonna destroy Touchstone, we know where to get the alchemite from.
Yeah, this vein. Jeez.
Mhm.
Is there a small piece about the size of a golf ball that council can find in this wagon load?
I mean, you could break off a piece
Yeah, council will
the size of a golf ball.
A Kit Kat
and
alchemist.
just kind of pocket it in his pouch.
Felix, can you close the hole behind you so it doesn't get rummaged by the Dorn?
I can't,
Okay.
but I don't think this this section of the cave is not well traversed at all.
If we take everything visible, I doubt they will inspect this area,
Okay.
since it is
Fair.
already mapped. A good question.
Fair enough. Caves are new to me.
Because what you're digging out is or what you're transmuting out is a 5x5x5 cube. When you get to the end of that 5 feet, like there is still a piece of alchemite that's like sticking out of the wall, but once you like pull that brick of it out, it just is kind of a hole that then goes to like more stone.
Cool.
So
That's crazy.
there's no alchemite visible still.
Okay.
Does this mean we can return to the surface?
It does.
Sure does, and we should be quick about it.
Does it look like we can transport this wagon load of separate pieces of alchemite?
You can certainly try.
Council's got a backpack with not a lot in it.
Yeah, if everyone is like loading up bags, you would just like load up a bag to the brim. It would be like you in 7th grade with all of your textbooks
Yeah.
on your back, full like turtle shelling.
Can we fill one bag and Felix makes it small?
I believe that only works on creatures.
Interesting question.
Yeah, Council loads up a bag.
Okay.
Part
Cool.
1, 2.
He Tetrises it.
Yeah, you do. So you're able to fit quite a few of these bricks in there. Each one, I'd say, is probably about like the size of like a shoebox.
Dang.
Not like I don't know, women's shoes. Think of like a Puma box. So,
Yeah, like 6x12. Or,
yeah.
Women can wear Pumas, you sexist.
I thought that it was like a men's only.
Well, they try to put them on, and then it just rockets them out of the shoe because they're not allowed to.
It rejects the host.
Rejects the host.
Wow.
Parasitical shoes. Ooh, new campaign idea.
That's where the symbiote
That's
just
dumb.
takes on the form of a shoe and then wraps its way up and around you.
So we managed to get it all?
Yeah, as long as everyone's like
Mhm.
willing to help carry
Yeah.
the load.
Terrible load.
Then, yeah,
Ishmael lets Felix go first.
Yeah, we head back down and try to get back to the boat.
Can you imagine if the dwarf find us like, hey, they see what we're carrying. Hey,
hey, I thought those were the what?
We just press up against the walls and hold the alchemite like in our hands, like pretending to just be part of the wall.
Yeah.
This isn't where I parked my boat.
I mean, over the course of an hour or two, you guys are able to make your way back to the boat. What with the time of traveling there, getting the alchemite, or using Felix's ability to get the alchemite, and then traveling back, you are now like solidly in the evening. But you make your way back to the boat. There's no sign of Dwarn that you can see.
Council's going to make a pile of alchemite bricks, kind of stacking them like campfire logs.
In the ship itself, right where the big chunk needs to be.
Yeah, so we can just kind of like push it in where we need to. Actually, he's gonna put down his sleeping roll a bit, so we can just kind of push it and pull the roll out, so it's easier to slide. Because it's like,
Well, can you just meld it into place where it needs to be?
probably actually.
Yeah, because you could meld it
Yeah,
into
that's
whatever shape
yeah.
you need it to be.
Fine, I guess I'll do it magically.
Are there any like crates or barrels or containers on the ship?
No.
Did they take
Empty?
the guns too? They're like cannons.
No, the cannons are still there.
Can they be moved?
Can
Can
they?
Like, yeah, can I like aim a cannon up, like straight up?
I think they just point out, right?
They pretty they're like
In the
almost
ship.
on casters, like they can be like pushed out to the
Right, but can I push it? Can I push it away from the port inside the boat and aim it straight upwards?
No.
All right.
Yeah,
Then
they're not
Barkwan's gonna
level.
got it. Barkwan's gonna leave his deposit by the ship and then go like start trying to like dig a hole in the sand.
To leave another deposit?
No. It's been 24 hours and he needs water.
Okay.
Yeah, you go outside into the sand and you're able to take a little hole out there.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
probably about, I mean, well, what did I say? Like 50, 60 feet away from the mouth of the cave. And it's very, very dark out at this point. The sun has definitely set behind the mountains. But you're out there, you're able to find the sand and you're able to dig a little hole.
yeah, he would cast Create or Destroy Water and he would fill the hole with water and like just submerge himself.
A little bird bath.
And you do that.
A koi pond. Okay, so council's going to before we finish for tonight, council's going to basically make a approximate shape to just basically to fill the space, and it's going to be. What was the shape of the previous piece? Was it kind of jagged or?
No, the previous piece was actually more, it was like perfectly like geometric, like gem shaped.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think of like
Like a typical like a diamond, a ring diamond.
not a diamond ring.
Like
It looks
this?
like a
Yeah,
rupee.
like a D8 or D10. Or...
Actually,
Like-
no, none of those. Closer to a D8. Imagine a D8, but that is elongated.
Okay.
Like this?
Yeah, just like a prime bottle.
Oh,
So-
like the kind of like what you see like the Final Fantasy crystals in the old
Yeah.
Final Fantasy games.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Council is going to be practical about this and seeing that we have the D8 shape doesn't take as much space as it could. So he's just going to make a cylinder.
Like a perfect spherical cylinder.
Perfect. No, not spherical, but like
Sorry, a circular.
yeah, just a cylinder of alchemite, perfectly smooth, enough that it'll fit in the thing.
I'm trying. Okay, so like this, like that purple one.
Oh, okay. So
Don't
it's-
endorse this website for whatever it is. It looks like some kind of voodoo nonsense. But like more like that purple shape.
Yeah,
like a gem cluster, more like a.
No. So sorry.
just that chunk.
Ignore the bits on the front, and just that like large purple one in the back.
Okay.
Just the twig, not the berries.
Is this healing alchemite?
Healing alchemite. So yeah, council is going to make a perfect cylinder of alchemite.
Okay. Cool. You do so. You spend your 10 minutes to do the ritual that you need to, and you fuse the bricks of alchemite together
Oh, it works.
into a spherical, not spherical, a
Cylindrical.
cylindrical piece of alchemite.
That is super cool.
That really is.
It's inside here.
Okay.
now we
Really?
just need the spark.
And do we know
Oh, there we go.
what causes that spark?
Any of us
Bhagwan?
can make electricity. I can make electricity if no one else wants to.
I
This-
can do it for battle purposes. I can't make little sparks.
Well, you don't want it to be
A
little.
big spark would be just fine. You know what? I'll do it. Screw it. I'll do the honors. I
You've
cast.
earned, he says this from outside in the hole. You've earned this.
I cast lightning bolt on it.
Okay,
Lightning bolt.
go ahead and roll damage.
What is
Couldn't
it?
find.
8d6? Is it the equivalent of
Yeah,
fireball?
it's fireball. It's just a line.
If- If it just destroys the alchemite, I'm gonna be.
I'm gonna think it's hilarious.
Two people use their racial traits to be able to get this. And I'm just like, nope, screw you. You're going at the touchstone and getting the piece that I told you to. This is called railroading.
You get on that train.
That's 23 lightning damage.
23 lightning damage. Okay, perfect. You unleash this lightning bolt into this piece of alchemite, and you see that it has a light blue glow to it. It is not empowered as much as your previous piece that was embedded in the ship, but it's got a charge.
We can
Someone
use the
had
sails to charge the rest of it, right?
someone had
Oh, are the
better-
sails still on the ship?
Did you look?
Got council looking now.
I mean, I looked to make sure everything was still there.
Yeah, the sails are still on the ship.
Okay, good.
The pieces that were at like the parts that connected at the front of the ship were like you bent it in and like damaged, but they're still there.
Okay.
There's
Uh,
probably errors, but
Not to distract from this, but Wander is hanging out with Barquan, tells him a little bit more about the behemoth, asks him to keep an eye out, and if Barquan runs out of water, Wander offers some more water. And Wander kind of like, without really trying to like get into the same bathtub, kind of wriggled his feet down into the damp sand without being weird about it.
No, please come in. I'm used to sharing bathwater. Please.
Two
Alright.
bros chilling
Wa-
out.
Wander dangles his feet in. He doesn't get all the way in, but he just kind of.
It's not weird if you guys decide to high five.
Well, yeah, I know. He does like a little splashes, like a little splash fight.
Well,
yeah, that's an appropriate.
Wander's a little too noony for splash flights at this point.
He singes. He's like, oh, sorry.
Is the piece of alchemite ready? Should I try and move the ship?
Yeah. Try and
We need to
move it back.
dislodge it first.
How do you plan to do that?
I was going to ask Barquan. He seemed to have an idea.
But I'm sure I could. Yeah, I'll hop out the water and just.
BQ.
I can create a big gust of wind that should be able to dislodge. I've never tried this before, but
Are we gonna musket the ship out of the tunnel?
And-
I mean,
Keep in mind what I said earlier that it's not a perfect seal.
yeah.
we could try to pull.
Why don't you just look? Can't we just drive it backwards without lifting it up?
Let's try.
Yeah. Yeah, Ishmael attempts to just drive it, but also uses his captain's action of full speed ahead.
Except it's full speed.
Full speed behind.
Behind. Okay. Getting to the helm of the ship and trying to get it out, you almost immediately get the impression that it is firmly wedged in place. It's not going to be able to come out of its own volition.
Hmm.
How many points is it in contact with?
So
Good question.
pretty solidly, like 4. So there's the bottom corners of the ship where the ship comes down, like where that's wedged in, but then also the top deck of the ship, that is almost entirely touching, but then certainly the corners are wedged as well.
And how hard is the stone here?
Pretty pretty hard.
But we just, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, nothing else. We can just dig it out with the pickaxe.
Yeah.
I might have the barbarian do it.
He can reach.
Yeah,
But
and I can enlarge him too, which enlarges the pickaxe.
Let's do that.
So yeah, I'll hand Ishmael the pickaxe and cast enlarge reduce, making him. He's already large,
Does that make him
Monstrosity?
huge?
And large.
he is already large.
so he will be a size larger.
Yeah, it goes to huge.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't you be able to
And-
just like pull the ship out?
Let me.
Good try.
Like
You could
removing a
push
wine
it
bottle
with
from a
one
rack?
finger.
Just kind of. Ishmael? Trying-
Wait.
Should
Hang
I
on.
get?
The target's weapons also grow to match its new size, so it is a huge sized pickaxe.
Oh my god!
I'm picturing when you first hand it to him, it's like one of those little archaeologist little picks.
Yeah.
It's like the size of his hand.
Yep.
Just a tiny little baby pickaxe. You expect me to get the ship out with this?
As like mid sentence, I cast enlarge.
and Ishmael just.
Ishmael, Ishmael, get big. Okay.
So upon you doing that, before even trying the pickaxe, I suppose I can't get into the cave though. That's the thing I was going to say first. Is the cave? Can I get into the cave at this point?
No.
You can destroy the cave.
So
You can still grab the ship.
yeah, he just goes to the front and tries to pull it out. Is there something to grab onto, or he's got rope? Got hempen rope.
The back of the boat and try to pull it out?
Yeah.
Sure. Make me a strength check, which you do have advantage on because you're in large.
Council's gonna go up and just reverse the ship when he kind of tugs on it to kind of like time the
We
thing.
all live in Minnesota. We know how to get out of the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You
everyone
gotta
gets
rock
in.
it. You gotta
Everyone
rock
gets
it.
in.
Rock it.
Go ahead,
Ah.
rock it.
Strength check with advantage.
28.
Jeez.
28. I'll say with a 28 that you're able to move it some. I wouldn't say that you get it fully dislodged, but you're able to move it a bit.
I hop back. Excuse me. I hop back onto the ship, use the pickaxe, try and free a corner or two, and then, assuming I can like get some of the rock out from around it, I go and give it another shot.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So spending how long does enlarge reduce last? Is that another minute?
Yeah, it's 1 minute.
Okay. So in that minute, I would say you're probably able to get like 2 solid tries out of this between like trying to pull it and then like going and trying to clear away some of the rock and other people trying to help. Maybe another strength check.
As he's doing this, Council, knowing a little bit about Ishmael and how he fights, is going to run to the back of the ship and antagonize him. Ishmael, if you do not succeed in doing this, there is a very good chance that this world and everyone living on it will be dead. And it will be because you weren't strong enough.
And if it runs out, if enlarge and reduce runs out, I just cast it again.
So upon that happening, just to add some flavor here, Ishmael starts raging.
Yeah, but
That's what the goal was. Thank you.
But I already have advantage on my strength check. So.
yeah.
The flavor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Council goes back to the wheel, tries to back it up.
But because of that vicious mockery, you're also going to take at least like 46 of psychic damage.
Yeah, I think while he's doing this, we're gonna have someone at the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you would getting someone out of the snow, you gotta have someone at
Yep.
Right.
trying to-
Somebody's got to be pulling the gas.
Ishmael's rocking.
Yep, gotta do the
Like
rocking.
it's stuck in snow.
Time the accelerator. So you don't wanna form ice under your tires.
Farquaad's looking around and goes, "Damn, that was cold."
Make your strength checks.
Yeah. 22.
Significantly less this time.
Yeah.
I will say you're able to move it out some again. It's still not like perfectly free though, but you have moved it at least like a foot or two out from where it initially was, which, given the size and the weight of this boat, is impressive in itself.
Yeah. He's basically manually pulling an SUV.
Oh, way more than
Oh, like way bigger than that. Yeah.
pulling
Does-
a boat.
Does feel as he's doing this and it ends a second time? Does Felix cast it again,
Yep.
or is he?
Yep.
Okay.
Should I go on the other end and try to help push with the wind?
Yes.
All right.
Time it.
He's gonna go to the front of the boat and he's gonna cast Gust of Wind.
Uh,
Uh,
do you have Gust of Wind as a
I-
cleric?
I do. It's part of his of the Tempest domain.
Oh, you
Interesting.
went Tempest?
Dead.
Cool.
It fits.
I do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, make your strength check.
I keep rolling consistently worse.
I'm gonna use Flash of Genius, give him +5 as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Give him
His muscles.
the proper
Sure.
the form.
Wander, you're the only person who's not contributing to this. How would you like to contribute?
Something cool.
Wander's kind of like looking around for a little while. He's really thinking. He's trying to figure out what. Then he kind of tilts his head and goes, "Ah!" And he casts Transmute Rock,
Okay.
and I can transmute rock to mud. Non-magical rock of any sort in the area becomes an equal volume of thick and flowing mud that remains for the spell's duration.
Hey, what kind of area?
Dang.
I just found our new way to mine alchemite.
Within a 40-foot cube.
40-foot cube.
What?
That's huge.
Amazing.
Wait,
So underneath
so-
the boat?
Underneath the boat.
Oh,
I try and center the 40-foot cube so it like clips like a nice little layer
Yeah.
below the boat.
yeah, 40-foot cube would get above. It would encapsulate the boat, not from back to front, but it would get all the way around it,
Bottom.
like
Yeah,
top
Would
to
it
side.
with
Mud
some
to
mud
corners.
from the top of the cave rain down? Is that what you're?
I mean, it would be underneath.
Yeah.
It would be on either side of it. Like that would
Can you
be.
change the size? You can change the size, right?
It just says 40. This is from Xanathar.
Oh, okay.
So.
I mean, we'll clean it off. Whatever.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
you do it.
We'll hose it off.
Yeah,
One of us can create water, right? So
Yeah.
Well,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
Farquaad's at the very front casting Gust of Wind, and then unbeknownst to him, he gets slimed from the top.
We're gonna blow mud out of this tunnel like a post Taco Bell city.
Oh, yucky.
there you go.
Alex, you need to
Oh.
post that GIF of the sludge like coming out.
Yeah.
Like the construction worker who frees the pipe.
Yeah,
I love that one.
I hate this.
that is what this is. What'd you roll in your
Yes.
strength check?
Oh, wait, yeah, I rolled low again, but then you gave me Flash of Genius. So 623.
23.
Actually higher than my second roll.
So with the boat now being in mud, having the gust of wind from the front, having the reverse accelerator going and the monster of a man pulling on it and the flash of genius. I can't not let you guys get the boat out.
Yeah.
You pull the boat free.
Solve your puzzle.
You can see that the front of the boat is super damaged. Like any parts that came into contact with the stone are just incredibly banged up. Lots of like denting and scratching, and this is not a pristine boat.
Yeah, it's been through it's been through the ringer.
Got our ride stolen, and then he took the engine out of it too.
This is like a freaking Kia after it's getting stolen.
Yeah.
We find it on cinder blocks.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I really think to have made this happen, although it goes against all of Wander's advice, Ishmael is thunderously screaming at the top of his lungs while he tries to unlodge the boat. I mean, he is just bellowing.
He's raging.
Yeah, he's doing an Olympic deadlift, basically.
Yeah.
Even more so, yeah. This is a lot. Okay, cool. All right, let's end there then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because now it's 9:21.
Oh, by the way, I have a hack. Barkwan just gonna like buff the side of the boat, and he's gonna be infinitely casting mending, and he's just gonna fix it.
Cool.
I can do it too, so it'll happen
Perfect.
twice as fast.
You can mend 1 inch a day. So you have about 8 months.
Buff out one stretch.
No, isn't it? It's like a foot or a couple feet. Isn't that what it is?
No longer than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it.
Yeah.
But if it's a cantrip, I can continuously cast it. It doesn't say anything about a day, does it?
It's up to Spencer. I don't think it's gonna work.
No. It's not up to Spencer. Rules is written.
That was amazing. I gotta go. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, Barnabas.
That was great.
That was a lot
So
of
we
fun.
did free it, you said, right?
Yeah.
The ship is now free.
You got the ship out.
We solved, we solved the ship puzzle.
I didn't
I
feel
would-
right. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Nope.
I was gonna say I didn't feel right ending the session when we had gotten the tools we needed to try and free the ship. I was like, I saw it was 9 o'clock. I'm like, you gotta do this.
Right. We needed to try and get it free.
It's some closure.
Yeah.
I was curious how much. Like, I know as a DM you're gonna do your best to not railroad us, but I was just curious how much we'd kind of have to go into Touchstone versus not, since that's the path we took.
Touchtown.
Yeah,
That is a place I don't
Touchstone.
want to go. Sounds way worse.
Did we surprise you at all in this session?
Did you? Yes, on numerous occasions.
Did you think we were gonna go for the ship?
It was a possibility. I mean, so at the ending of the session, I knew that you were either going to go into Touchstone or you were going to go south. Like that was really like the two options. And that's what you guys came to as well.
Yeah.
But then you found a really good way to get around it. And yeah, so I'm all for rewarding that.
And leaving the Magister to die.
Yes, yeah. So
And Sledge.
the other part of that is there is a moral conundrum of, do you rescue any of these people that have helped you up to this point, or do you just leave them? You guys have consistently left people behind, so
I gotta say, role-playing a non-good character is not my favorite thing. I mean, I've always wanted to role-play a lawful evil character, but kind of the neutral,
Don't care.
don't
sort of.
care kind of thing. Oh, I feel
The Magister was
Yeah.
really useful, and getting Sledge back.
he helped us out a lot, and Danny is down there too, a freaking child. We're like, come on.
The
And you guys
Magister
just-
was pretty useful.
The
Yeah, and
fate of
not
the
only
entire
that,
world is at
you
stake.
destroyed his town.
Oh yeah,
Not only
His
was he
town?
useful,
you
yeah.
can't.
we caused almost all of the problems. Absolutely.
Before,
Well, we're helping.
hold on. Never mind. I might have an answer to your question actually.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, never mind. So I Crystal has one question to ask
Yeah.
regarding your solution at the end. Would you like to ask it? What did you text me?
Oh, I also texted Jack.
What? You texted Jack? She said, "Say it.
Oh, I just wanted to know why you didn't make the ship smaller.
Why didn't you just shrink the ship?
We
That's
thought it could be
possible.
on objects.
It only
Possible.
It's-
and you cause a creature or an object you can see within range to grow larger or smaller.
oh, I missed that.
I
Dude,
have
it's
no
way
idea.
cooler to do it this way.
Yeah, I
This is
thought
way
it just
cooler.
worked on creatures.
Yeah.
Crystal
Making a poop-
brain over here.
Make
Making
the
a-
shield bigger. Let's make the
Make-
pickaxe bigger.
Making a poop cannon isn't as much fun.
It was way cooler this way.
In
Yeah.
3.0, it only works on creatures, which is like my brain was like that. So
Yeah, that's a really logical question, Crystal.
I'm glad you asked that because now I know.
yeah, that's
For
true.
future
Wait,
things.
can you do that on someone's armor while they're wearing it, and just like sausage tube them?
Oh no, because it's all their weapons and armor too. I thought. Is
I
what it
think
said.
if it let's see.
Oh, okay. Because like if someone's wearing
Use
plate
either a creature or an object that is
Or an
neither
object.
worn nor carried.
Oh, okay, that's lame.
But so there must be a size limit, right?
If
there?
Because what if we?
No.
So you could do it to a building. You could do it to the
Yeah.
temple and
Yeah,
shrink the temple.
I wouldn't
I
call
mean-
those objects.
Is the ship an object? Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
a vehicle? Oh, okay.
That's an object.
But then why isn't it a temple?
If it's a permanent fixture, I would say it's not an object.
Well, it's a permanent fixture for until something's big enough to push it around.
What about the behemoth?
So the temple, well, so that specifically, it says if the target is unwilling, it can make a Constitution saving throw.
Right.
So we should go hunt down the behemoth and try this.
He's
Yeah.
rough.
Screw
I
any
mean,
of the
I
other
think-
priorities.
so-
This is our
so
new
it
priority
sounds-
next session.
It sounds like a really good thing you could do to give yourself a big edge on a creature.
Yeah.
It
What
actually the
Behemoth and take it to Touchstone and let it regrow.
Oh my god.
well the behemoth would probably still be like large or something.
The
It only
Trojan-
lasts a minute, yeah.
It also
Trojan-
does
Trojan
just-
behemoth.
It also does just about as much damage. Reduced. It just does 1d4 less and
Yeah.
has disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws.
Still.
Yeah, so it's not as big of an
It's
advantage.
combat wise, I only ever did it on Tizal because he was a monk and he hit a bunch of times, which
Yeah.
means if you're adding 1d4 to every attack, you don't do it to the thing that attacks once or twice, you do it to the thing that attacks like 6 times in a turn.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, it's good for puzzle solving.
Mhm.
Man.
Which, yeah, I think that how you guys solved that puzzle was phenomenal. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll remember now that you can do it on objects.
Council will have to apologize to Ishmael when we're done. Sorry, bro.
tell
I
you
was just trying to rile you up.
Arquan thinks that Council's a real jerk.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, Council is kind of a jerk.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a poopy head.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely a poopy head.
All right, see you, dudes.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks for the
Thanks for DMing. See
Yeah,
you, dudes.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.